Row number 4, Austin Dillon and Joey Logano, they're together. In row 3, it's Kyle Larson and Austin Cindric. In row 2, Josh Berry and Todd Gilliland. The front row, it's Ryan Blaney and Michael McDowell. Atlanta Motor Speedway has made a lot of history in past. Many championships have been settled. Today, the playoffs begin at Atlanta.
Michael McDowell down on the inside, flanked to his right side. It's going to be Ryan Blaney. Green flag is in the air, and we're underway here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Early on, McDowell with the early advantage. Blaney trying to rally back on the outside.
And choosing to keep the inside line, which did not advance in yesterday's race, but McDowell is making it work with that push from his teammate Todd Gilliland. To the outside, Ryan Blaney trying to fight a charge with Josh Berry and pushing.
Michael McDowell pulls the train down the backstretch here as they enter turn number 3. Side by side, 2 by 2, almost 3 wide in the back. Here comes McDowell, hammer down on the Ford, and he'll lead them off turn 4.
McDowell will lead lap number 1. Right there with him is Blaney. Behind Blaney, Josh Berry, Kyle Larson have lined up to the outside of Todd Gilliland.
Third place starter Todd Gilliland started to fall back on the inside line. He leads it now as McDowell, his teammate up front, is leading the outside line. Ryan Blaney right behind him. Josh Berry trying to have a look to the inside.
On the top line, it is McDowell. On the bottom line, and about 7 cars back, it's Todd Gilliland pulling alongside Austin Cindric. Those cars trying to hang on to the bottom of the racetrack. Up front, though, once again, Michael McDowell leads the parade.
That bottom line too loose to really generate a push to the front. It's McDowell, Blaney. Next in line, it is going to be Josh Berry, followed by Kyle Larson.
Josh Berry with a Georgia sponsor on Decisively Insurance, a purple number 4 third. Ford, he's in third. And look who's in 4th place. Kyle Larson there as it launched to the back straight.
Larson right there locked onto the bumper of the 4th place car of Josh Berry. Half a car length separate first and second. Everybody working in a single file line all the way back to the guy who's running at the bottom. That's the 24 car, William Byron, coming on.
William Byron is a lonesome soldier down on the bottom of the racetrack. Now he fits himself into the high line, gave up the ghost on the bottom. Everybody single file back to turn number 1.
And Kyle Larson in 4th place lurches in that position right to the rear bumper, to the left rear quarter panel of Josh Berry. Then he gets right behind him down the backstretch.
No practice, no problem. Just get in the gas and go 175 or 80 miles an hour. That's what they're doing today. Bottom of the racetrack, that's where you see the leader. Here's Michael McDowell. Lets the car drift up just a little bit off 4.
7 of the top 10 blue oval Fords being pulled around by Michael McDowell, Ryan Blaney, and that purple machine right in their tire tracks there is going to be Josh Berry.
But Kyle Larson in his Chevrolet goes to his inside, battling for 3rd. He's going to try to gouge that position away, and he gets it. Now he's to the left rear quarter panel of Blaney in 2nd.
Larson makes it look easy, picks up another spot, move him up to 3rd. Everybody once again single file all the way back down to the 20th car. Reminiscent of yesterday, everybody's trying to get a feel.
Need to document that Denny Hamlin started last. He is still running in the 38th position. Doug, it appears he has made no attempt at all to make his way forward.
I think his play right now is to stay back there and to stay out of trouble. He's betting that there will be some eruption in front of him. He doesn't want to be a part of it. Over to Brad Gilly.
Well, Doug, I think you were inside the head of crew chief Chris Gabehart. That's exactly what he told Denny Hamlin before the green flag dropped. He said, look, we don't have to do anything here on the first laps. In fact, I expect a lot to happen in the opening laps of this race. Just stay back. We'll tell you when to go ahead and race and work your way up through the front safely. They're just simply not there yet. His radio fairly quiet between Hamlin and spotter Chris Lambert.
Right now, the only car on the bottom of the racetrack is Noah Gregson. He's trying to pull a number of cars up there through the pack with him. I believe Ty Gibbs is down on the bottom, Justin Haley. But, Doug, they're making no headway at all. They're continuing to lose ground if they're running on the bottom of the racetrack.
Martin Truex has been the big mover here in the early going. He had to go to the back because they changed the plug wires. That was an unapproved adjustment, but he's picked up a dozen spots. Ty Gibbs, his teammate, has already rocketed back up to 8 spots. The leaders are back in 1.
And they are now pulling on the bottom line. The leaders are Michael McDowell, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Josh Berry here on lap number 7 in single file.
Austin Dillon there right behind Berry as he keeps his number 3 Chevy right in the mix here up front as they work into turns 3 and 4. Todd Gilliland out there, Chase Briscoe as well. Single file, the top 12, 15 cars.
Pat, it's a 15-car breakaway up front. Could be about to be 16. Here's Bubba Wallace joining that fray. So is Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch.
They're in turn one right now as the leaders are in turn two. The cars that you just mentioned trying to get in line. Two wide battle here for the sixth spot. Austin Dillon around Chase Briscoe.
Well, not so quick. Briscoe now will hold serve at the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to get some help, perhaps from Todd Gilliland. No, Gilliland slides back upstairs. Joey Logano right there with him as they work their way through the corner 2x2.
Austin Dillon on the top side of the track digging hard in that number 3 machine. Planted to his inside is Briscoe, and also getting in the mix here, Todd Gilliland. That's a nice battle for 6.
They objected to being called single file. Here they are, two wide battle, 6th spot to the inside, Chase Briscoe. Outside, Austin Dillon, and then Todd Gilliland and Joey Logano behind him.
4 car lengths separate the top 3 from the 4th car of Josh Berry. Then it's another couple car lengths back to Chase Briscoe, Austin Dillon, Joey Logano. Two-way battle there on the racetrack in the middle with Todd Gilliland as well.
They have just told Denny Hamlin time to boogie. He is starting to make his way now from the back of the field. He's passed a couple of cars. Meanwhile, leaders back in turn 1.
Hamlin was there at 4, but in turn 1, it's Michael McDowell, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson. Then it starts to get a little squirrely and too wide for about 10th. It's William Byron's going under the ailing car of Todd Gilliland.
William Byron, a guy that knows this racetrack oh so well for what times we've been here in this configuration, getting the feel for his race car. Right now, though, under attack by Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton holding the Wood Brothers Ford at the bottom of the racetrack.
William Byron, 2-time winner here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now Burton says, okay, I'm just going to get in line here. And as he gets in line, diving underneath him is going to be Alex Bowman as they fight for 12.
Yeah, the second purple car in the field, Alex Bowman, too wide with Gilliland as Gilliland has fallen back from the 3rd place starting spot. The leader McDowell's on the back straightaway.
Good racing here, tight racing with Austin Dillon and Joey Logano as they enter turn 3. Austin Cindric is there as well. Those cars getting very racy. Here comes Byron on the bottom to try to get another spot and move up.
He draws alongside the machine of Todd Gilliland. Can't make the pass. They are still door-to-door heading for turn 1.
Mark at lap 10 when Williams Byron car came to life as now he's going to get back single file behind him. His teammate Alex Bowman's going to take him too wide for about that 10th spot. They almost make contact exiting turn 2.
Today might be Bowman the showman. We'll see how well he works his number 48 Chevy today. Steps right in there behind his teammate. They work up now to some 2 wide battles in front of them. Once again, William Byron, the man on the move.
Watching 2 wide racing here, back for about the 7th spot right now. It's Austin Dillon down on the inside, but he'll get bypassed there by Austin Cindric and Joey Logano. They just blow around him.
And so does William Byron there. Cindric, by the way, one of the top 5 drivers in points all the Atlanta Motor Speedway races here as he gets back in line in front of Dillon.
Top 4 cars now going into turn 3. Michael McDowell out in front of the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Then there's the 5 Chevy of Kyle Larson there stalking, and Josh Berry hanging on into that front 4.
Gilliland now driving to the inside of the Austin Dillon machine. This is a fight for 8th. Behind them, Ross Chastain pushing hard on the back bumper of Alex Bowman.
Indeed, he's coming from mid-pack to do it too. Ross Chastain, that blue number 1 Ford, not in the playoffs. Another 2 wide battle in front of them. Austin Cindric still around William Byron.
Byron will get right to the rear fender of Cindric. Couldn't get anything done this time. Underneath them goes Todd Gilliland. He'll get alongside Austin Dillon. That's the 2-car battle up front now coming off turn 4.
Austin Cindric trying to make some moves up toward the front of the pack here. He is inside the top 10. He is trailing Joey Logano. They're trying to bypass William Byron right now. We've completed 15 of 60, our top 3. Michael McDowell. It's going to be Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Is your insurance playbook too confusing? Well, make it easy. Switch to Geico and get all your insurance coverage from one place. Go to geico.com today to get started. 17 of 60 laps in stage one now complete. Michael McDowell leading Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Josh Berry, and Chase Briscoe. Will have a full field rundown when we return. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network. Get your NASCAR fix with PRN's Garage Pass. Hi, I'm Mark Garrow, tracking the latest racing news every weekday.
I mean, it's its own animal. It's got its own feel to it, and that's not a bad thing.
Talking about a road course this day and age with these cars and Watkins Glen, a lot of crashes happen there and restarts.
There's just always crazy things that seem to happen, so yeah, you just got to kind of take it week by week.
For the station near you, check us out at goprn.com.
Hi, this is PRN's David Stiles. Join me each week when I head over to JC's Garage to talk the latest NASCAR news.
I think all of those guys can win races at any given date, and I think that's what's going to make this playoffs really, really exciting.
Earlier in the season, when you asked me who's going to be the next driver to get their first win, I thought it would be Ty Gibbs, and it just hasn't materialized for him yet. JC is only 16, but he's plugged into the sport unlike anyone you've ever met. That's JC's Garage, wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Let's give you a top 20 rundown here. Action starting to pick up near the front. Michael McDowell is the race leader. Blaney rides in second. Third is Josh Berry. Kyle Larson is fourth. Fifth, Joey Logano. Alex Bowman, sixth. Seventh, Austin Cindric. Chastain is eighth. Ninth goes to William Byron. And it's Todd Gilliland in 10th.
11th, it's going to be Austin Dillon. Harrison Burton 10th, now falling through the field. Austin Dillon's lost some spots, so Burton's now 10th. 11th, Gilliland. Chase Elliott 12th. 13th is Austin Dillon. Daniel Hemrick 14th. 15th, Chase Briscoe. 16th, Bubba Wallace. Martin Truex Jr. 17th. 18th, Ty Gibbs. 19th, Brad Keselowski. And Tyler Reddick is 20th. And that leaderboard update brought to you by eBay Motors. Bring home the cup with eBay Guaranteed Fit. Brakes, headlights, all the parts to fit your vehicle the first time, every time. eBay Motors, ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Michael McDowell has been the only leader in this race for 22 laps. Blaney rides second, but Pat Patterson action's picking up for third, fourth, and fifth.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to run 22 laps. They seem like they're getting ready to run the last lap of a stage or something. Really mixing it up front. Look at Kyle Larson on the move right now.
He's to the outside of Josh Berry there, nose to nose, door to door for that third spot, and Austin Cindric closing in from the outside.
With Joey Logano part of that down low as Larson's trying to make the high line work with Berry to the bottom. Berry and him been side by side for several laps.
Michael McDowell doing a good job of riding with the windshield out. We're looking out the windshield, but also watching the back behind him. Right now, it's a two-way battle for that third spot. Larson on the outside, Josh Berry on the bottom. Here's the way they race all four.
Coming back to the line, once again, the leader of the entire race, Michael McDowell, Ryan Blaney, and I'll tell you what, Josh Berry and Kyle Larson have been glued together now for several laps.
And that means that brings the other parts of the pack into them. That's Joey Logano, Alex Bowman, Austin Cindric right behind as they stay too wide on the backstretch.
Yeah, also the guy that's probably passed the most cars so far, at least it looked like it to me, is William Byron. He's done a great job right now, holding on in about that 7th or 8th spot, trying to get another one away from Cindric on the bottom of the racetrack.
Alex Bowman digging hard on the bottom of the racetrack. He has now moved into the 5th position, diving under Logano, just ahead of Austin Cindric, who now looks inside his teammate Logano.
It's a pair of purple cars on the bottom line as Josh Berry now fades to the high line, chops off the nose of Larson, put Josh Berry solely into third as the Hendrick Motorsports teammates of Larson and Bowman are too wide.
It's McDowell, then it's Blaney, then you've got Josh Berry side by side, the Hendrick teammates battle for that 5th spot. Joey Logano side by side with his teammate off turn 4.
Back to the line once again. The burnt orange machine of Michael McDowell continues to lead. We've got a great battle now here for 4th. It is Alex Bowman and teammate Kyle Larson.
In lap 26, it's more like 26 to go the way they're racing as Alex Bowman's now diving under Larson and under Josh Berry for the 3rd spot. Alex Bowman coming to life in the Allied Chevy.
Interesting, all this action from 3rd on back has not intimidated Ryan Blaney to make a move for the front, but I got got a feeling what's getting ready to happen. He's going to have to move to the front. Here comes Blaney taking a look on the lead.
And also here is the car of Austin Cindric. He swings around Bowman. Now it is Larson lining up, trying to charge into the second spot ahead of Blaney.
All sorts of leapfrog going on in the top 5 or 10. Too wide under for about the 5th spot. Joey Logano under Austin Cindric as McDowell still leads.
And guys, we've got great racing just like at the front all the way through this field right now. We got guys trying to make positions. Up front though, McDowell midway through 3 and 4. Controls the front, Blaney right behind him, Larson right there, then it's Cindric.
Stopping by the booth here to chat with us, a guy that's been repping for Quaker State all weekend long here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, America's crew chief Larry McReynolds. Larry, always a pleasure to have you drop in. Are you surprised at what we're seeing here in the early going?
You know, Doug, I am, because I was a little more, I won't say concerned, but I really wanted to see how the Fords were going to race. They came down here. Obviously, we had a bunch of them that qualified inside the top 10, but there's such a fine line at this mile-and-a-half racetrack between downforce and low drag. Right now, they seem to be holding their own. The Chevrolets of Bowman and Larson, they're up there. I tell you who's on the move, though, is that one car of Ross Chastain and that Chevrolet.
Easy car to pick up, Doug Turnbull.
And yes, he is, as Ross Chastain's in the top 10. Battle for the lead. Ryan Blaney has just gone around Michael McDowell with Kyle Larson under McDowell now for second.
All that energy coming after Blaney. He couldn't resist anymore. Had to make a move. He got it done. He's up front. McDowell now. Blaney goes up, shuts the door of the charge from McDowell, opens up the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Kyle Larson. He'll go to the bumper of the leader.
McDowell led the opening 29 laps. For the first time in his career, he's led over 200 in a single season. Leaders back in turn 1.
And Kyle Larson shot out of a cannon. He was right behind Ryan Blaney, dives to the outside. Now they are 2 wide for the lead. Larson up high, Blaney down low.
Chevy versus Ford, midway down the backstretch. Nose, they're tailed exactly the same as they work into the corner. It's Austin Cindric that comes to the rescue of Blaney, shoves him into the corner. Blaney back to the front, move Larson back to third.
That highlighter yellow machine of Austin Cindric goes into the second spot here, following the tire tracks of fellow Ford driver Ryan Blaney back to 1.
No position is safe as it's now Penske teammates. Blaney, Cindric top 2. Kyle Larson is third. 2 wide battle for fourth. McDowell on the outside, Logano on the inside. Logano's going to take it.
And right behind them is Alex Bowman. He's still in the mix here with William Byron. Right behind him, it's Logano that's going to lose out on this battle going into the corner. It's Bowman up to the top side in that bright purple car trying to hold on to that 5th spot.
So Larry, early on in this race, anything jump out?
Yeah, a lot like what we saw in Xfinity Series race yesterday. Speaking of jumping out, if you jump out of line, if you don't do it at the right time, you're going to go backwards. It seems like such a fine line, and if you get that thing a little bit loose or a little bit tight and you have to get out of the throttle, that speed is lost all the way down that next straightaway. It's huge, but now I'm anxious to watch McDowell in the 34 car as he's under fire right now for 4th. His car, low drag, qualified on the pole. It was good out front, but now he's back in traffic.
Makes all the difference, doesn't it?
It really does.
All right, we have completed now 32 laps out of 60 in the first stage. Ryan Blaney is your race leader.
This NASCAR playoffs, if you like things spicy, Toyota Racing is looking for you. No, we don't care if you can handle the 5-alarm chili or that Eternal Inferno salsa.
Oh boy. Ooh.
Can you handle how spicy these playoffs will be when the temperature rises on racing's biggest stage?
Water, please.
If you're ready for some serious heat, we want you. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
Why wait until the race is over to do a victory lap? Las Vegas, it's all about how you celebrate. NASCAR fans, start your engines by visiting visitlasvegas.com. Once again, check out visitlasvegas.com. Ryan Blaney still hangs on to the lead. The rest of the top 5, Larson, Cindric, William Byron, and Alex Bowman. From Atlanta, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network. Truex on the inside, Byron in the middle, Chastain up high.
Hamlin now begins
beginning to come to the front. He's got the edge now. He'll take the lead away.
Ryan Blaney sliding down into the grass. There was a lot of bumping and grinding, and Blaney noses into the infield retaining wall.
Ross Chastain doing a great job. Truex right there, big in his mirror as they race down the backstretch here.
Harrison Burton is spinning down the back straightaway. Everybody going to the top side.
Here comes Kyle Larson. Larson dives to the bottom of the racetrack. He wants to lead all four.
Chris Buescher has the advantage and a spin off of turn 4.
Yeah, we've got a ton of cars that are in this one, and Larson is certainly one of those cars.
Trouble coming out of turn 4. Hamlin is sideways. The car spins down on the apron of the racetrack.
Byron takes that brightly painted number 24 to the front. He gets a big shove from Daniel Suarez.
This is PRN.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, 38 laps down in the Quaker State 400, 22 to go in stage 1. Let's get some updates from pit road. First up, Wendy Venturini.
Thanks on my end of pit road. Joey Logano currently running 5th. Feels like he's tight, especially into turn 3. But when he compresses his race car, it gets a little bit loose on him. He complained he needs overall grip for Joey Logano. As for Harrison Burton, one of my playoff drivers on my end of pit road, he started 12th, has only moved up to 11th, and for Harrison right now, no grip overall for him. Brad Gilly.
A couple of Hendrick teammates on my end of pit road. They're wanting to be aggressive and wanting to stay out front. That would be both Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman. All the chatter on their radio coming from spotters Kevin Hamlin as well as Tyler Mond for Kyle Larson. Now for some other drivers, Martin Truex Jr., he's complaining to James Small. His car is just simply not handling well all the way around. For Kyle Busch, he told Randall Burnett his car is mostly free, but he's losing the nose off of turn number 2. Brett McMillan.
Well, now that Michael McDowell has dropped out of the lead and gotten dirty air, he says that the car has gotten loose on him. William Byron said the car is just a little bit loose for him. And then we got Christopher Bell said that the car is low on grip. He really needs to tighten it up.
Michael McDowell, who led the first 29 laps, is faded. He goes all the way back to 8th now. Larry McReynolds, you were guessing a moment ago that maybe in 10 laps or so, action's going to pick up at the front.
Well, right now, I look at the top 5. They're all playoff drivers. And then you go back there, Chase Elliott, he's back in 9th. These are all playoff drivers. And remember, at the end of this stage, they're going to award those stage points. And if you can win it, that's that playoff point that stays with you all the way through the playoffs as long as you're alive. And if you don't think every point is important, ask Kyle Larson about that regular season championship losing by 1 point.
Speaking of Larson, he just tried to go around leader Ryan Blaney. Blaney throws the big block behind them door to door at Cindric and Bowman for the 3rd spot.
Hey, we're listening to Larry Mack. Game time. Kyle Larson goes to the inside, cuts to the outside. He's going to get too wide with Ryan Blaney, but Blaney's going to have the advantage off of 2. Larson fighting back.
Blaney too late, can't stop the 5. The 5's coming on the outside. He's going to get to his bumper, get to the door, I should say. Now they'll just stay side by side. Midway through 3 and 4. Here's Larson, here's Blaney. They're trying to sort it out for the lead.
Fighting it back here to the start-finish line on the inside. Blaney by about a foot. Larson rallies back to the outside. Behind them, it's going to be Austin Cindric and Alex Bowman side by side.
Still 17 to go in the stage as now the top 10, 12, 14 cars are 2 by 2, including for the lead, Larson, Blaney, and here's Austin Cindric.
Austin Cindric came to the rescue last time with a big shove for Blaney. Going to give it to him again, and that's going to shoot him out 2 car lengths in front of Larson. Larson now is going to have to go side by side with Cindric.
Bowman trying to catch up to his teammate Larson to give him a push to his inside. Ross Chastain. Chastain on the move. Also to the inside, right behind Chastain, Chase Elliott.
The Hendrick cars plus Chastain Chevy have come to life for the long run as they're all in the top 10 there. Up front, Ryan Blaney controlling both lines as he powers out of turn 2 to the backstretch.
Midway down the backstretch here at Atlanta, it's a side-by-side battle for the 2nd spot, the 3rd spot, the 4th spot, the 5th spot. Out in front is Ryan Blaney. He pulls the train off of turn 4.
We've only had 2 leaders so far. Ryan Blaney for 16 laps, and for 29 it was Michael McDowell. Blaney will lead yet another one, but the battle rages right behind him.
It's Austin Cindric down low, the Daytona 500 winner 2 years ago. Kyle Larson up high has never won a super speedway. They're battling hard. Ross Chastain around Alex Bowman there for the 5th spot.
Chastain's done a good job this afternoon of getting that number 1 Chevy up there. Now he'll fade a little bit. Bowman will get side by side with him. That's the battle for the fifth spot, I should say. Up front, no change. Ryan Blaney up there.
Again, documenting Denny Hamlin. Looks like he's going to ride out stage number 1. Started 38th, now running 34th. Leaders back in turn 1.
And that leader is Ryan Blaney, a line by himself there. Has been one of the best cars since they moved this to a super speedway track. 2 wide behind him. Larson up high. Austin Cindric down low. Ross Chastain fighting with Alex Bowman too.
Blaney holding that 2-car lead advantage over second spot right now. Then it's Kyle Larson and Austin Cindric. Right behind them, Ross Chastain, side by side with Alex Bowman.
Let's give you a peek at the leaderboard here, brought to you by Rheem. Ryan Blaney leads at Austin Cindric second. Larson is third. Alex Bowman fourth. Chastain has moved up to fifth. Chase Elliott is sixth. Logano seventh. William Byron eighth. Briscoe rides ninth, and 10th to Harrison Burton.
11th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., then it's Ty Gibbs. 13th is the pole sitter, McDowell. Truex has moved up 22 spots. Martin currently running in 14th. 15th, Daniel Hemrick. Then it's Todd Gilliland, Josh Berry, Justin Haley, Kyle Busch, and last February's winner, Daniel Suarez, rounding out the top 20.
Austin Dillon is 22nd. 23rd is Christopher Bell. Corey LaJoie, 24th. Bubba Wallace rides 25th. Brad Keselowski, 26th. Chris Buescher in 27th. Noah Gragson will be in the next spot. Now they switched it over. Bubba Wallace is back to 28th. Zane Smith, 29th. Carson Hocevar, 30th.
31st, John Hunter Nemechek, then Eric Jones, 32nd, SVG, 33rd, 34th is Hamlin, 35th, BJ McLeod, Cody Ware, 36th, Ryan Preece, 37th, JJ Yeley riding last in 38th.
All cars on the lead lap. That leaderboard update brought to you by Rheem. Visit Rheem.com to find a contractor near you. Rheem, provider of a new degree of comfort and proud sponsor of Christopher Bell and the number 20 Toyota.
11 laps left in stage number 1. Leaders firing down the back straightaway.
Hey, and it's the same up front with Ryan Blaney holding the lead. Austin Cindric in that second spot. Then you got the Hendrick team trying to get teamed up to perhaps go up here and challenge for the lead. That's Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman.
Larry, when you stepped in the booth, you said, watch Chastain. He was riding about 10th. Now he's inside the top 6. Got a battle here with Chase Elliott.
Yeah, Chase Elliott had just methodically worked his way forward, and now here we are with 10 to go in this stage. And as I mentioned earlier, and I don't think this is by coincidence, right now when I look inside the top 10, all are playoff drivers with the exception of Ross Chastain in 5th and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 9th.
Best running Toyota at the moment, Mark Garrow, Ty Gibbs. He started at the back. He's pushed all the way up to 11th.
Here they are coming down to the stripe now. 9 laps left in stage number 1. Chastain side by side with Joey Logano as they fight for this 6th position.
And to the outside of Chastain now is going to be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as Logano has gotten past Ross Chastain. They're on the back straightaway as the leaders are single file ahead.
Yeah, meanwhile up front, a little bit of separation now in that 5th spot on back. You've got Kyle Larson still trying to find a way to get up to the front. He's got Alex Bowman helping him and Chase Elliott coming to the rescue as well.
The front 5 have been able to sneak away just a bit. It's Blaney, Cindric, Larson, Bowman, Chase Elliott up to the 5th spot.
Elliott in a different paint scheme. Design the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta scheme, kind of a white car, is up front. Ryan Blaney leads. Austin Cindric trying to get clean air as he squirrels that car around with Larson behind him too.
Blaney only a half a car length out in front of his teammate Austin Cindric. Then it's Kyle Larson. It's William Byron. Behind him, Chase Elliott. Those cars now in a single file line at the bottom of the racetrack.
Here is Blaney out of turn 4. He edged up the racetrack just a bit. Cindric looked to the inside, but he plays the wingman. He stays right there with his teammate glued to his back bumper in turn number 1.
With Larson, the spoiler in that top 3 there, Larson's going to choose the middle lane, then dive down low to get a different kind of exit as the Penske teammates, Blaney and Cindric, locked up front.
Bowman can't quite get to the bumper of the 5 car to give him the shove he needs to try to make a play here, but Larson says, I don't need him, I'll try to do it myself. He goes to the outside of Cindric. He's coming up to the front.
Kyle Larson roaring to the outside, back to start-finish line. It's still Blaney. Can Larson make that high line work and get around Cindric? He hasn't done it so far.
He tried on the front straightaway, then lost his steam, tucks back in line 3rd. Austin Cindric around him. The first 2-wide battle in the top 10 is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. up high, Ross Chastain down low for 7th.
Stenhouse doing a great job here this afternoon in his car. He's locked on to the back of Elliott, and they move to the bottom of the racetrack, but Stenhouse on the move to the outside now.
Stenhouse roaring off the top of the racetrack in turn 4. He swings around Chase Elliott. Now we'll try to chase down Joey Logano with 5 laps to go in stage number 1.
And with the confrontation up front getting tighter as Kyle Larson nails the wall. Trouble in turn 2. It looks like the right front tire went down. There are flames coming out of the front of the Chevrolet of his. And now Chase Briscoe, another playoff contender, just slams his rear end. Kyle Larson was in turn 2, looked pointed fine, and then nose straight ahead for the wall. All of a sudden, hit it hard. Flames came out. Chase Briscoe, as he spun in front of the field, saw this, tried to woe down, and slammed his back. Both playoff contenders in the front and the back of the playoffs are now out of today's race.
Larry McReynolds, no contact initiated there. That looks like maybe a tire going down, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly what it looks like. 56 laps into this run, didn't anticipate any tire issues. This is the same tire combination we ran here back in February, but that's the guy that came in seated number 1, so this is going to be a big hit for that 5 car, and I get a feeling this is probably going to end the stage.
I think so. I don't think they're going to get reset here. And Mark Guerra, that was a nasty hit. Kyle is out of the car.
That was a major impact. First in the front, then Briscoe going by rips off almost the entire back body of the number 5 car for Kyle Larson, and that was a vicious hit. You could tell Larson went in the corner. All of a sudden, it went to the right, hit hard into that safer barrier. Briscoe almost got by, but hit pretty hard going by.
No question, looking at that replay, that's a right front tire. There is no question. That thing just went dead right.
Yeah, that was a hard right-hand turn, and then Briscoe comes along. I don't even think he touched the brake when he hit Kyle Larson on that secondary crash there. He's still maintaining full speed.
Man, that is a tough break for Kyle Larson, but he had 40 playoff points. Chase Briscoe did not have that kind of cushion coming into this race.
But going back to media day on Wednesday for these 16 playoff drivers, I spoke with every one of them, and every one of them used 2 common words: unknowns about this round and concerns, starting it here at a 1.5 mile super speedway, Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Well, you've already seen one of the top contenders, as Mark said, Kyle Larson, done for the day. Chase Briscoe is also done in opposite situations, but that is effectively right now here, as we have completed 57 laps, narrowed it down to 14 drivers battling to advance in the playoffs.
Well, I don't think we've ever had a playoff start this tight, because Ryan Blaney, who was in 5th, all the way back to Martin Truex Jr., who was 16th, separated by 14 points. I said it this morning. That's going to change dramatically by the end of stage 1, and it certainly looks like it will.
Yeah, it already has changed.
Briscoe came into the race, Doug, ranked 13th among the 16 playoff drivers, only 5 playoff points. Larson, number 1 with 40. He can afford a mulligan much more than Chase Briscoe, but again, if you're Kyle Larson, you don't want to give up those 40 playoff points just like that in race number 1.
Absolutely not. And again, to the point, the fact that next week, a road course at Watkins Glen. We've never been to Watkins Glen in the playoffs. And then, of course, another PRN race, Bristol, the cutoff race for the first round.
I think you've got an opportunity, too, Larry, for some of the lower-seeded teams to make a little bit of a run into this, because get lucky here, get a top 10 finish. If you're Harrison Burton and you can get out of here with a top 10 finish, you have hope now, especially that a couple of other contenders have had early trouble.
As tight as it is, Doug, I really believe it may not be a driver and a team that wins races or that just has decent runs. It may be a driver and a team that just does not have a problem, because we know a minimum of 9 drivers will advance out of this round to the next round based on points.
And this has already opened up, Mark, with a couple of playoff contenders on the sideline.
Man, what a change of events in just a blink of an eye. And again, this is so much, again, an example of how Atlanta and Daytona and Talladega are similar these days, because in a flash, you could be in great shape. 1 second later, it could be over.
You can't win the championship here at Atlanta in race number 1, but if you have a day like Briscoe did, you could lose it.
But maybe I'm all wrong here, but that crash, I don't know that had anything to do with the configuration here. If that happens at Charlotte Motor Speedway and the right front tire goes out, same result.
If you lose a right front tire in the middle of the corner at Martinsville, it's going to be the same result. It's going to go straight to the wall.
So Kyle Larson out of it here early on today. Right front tire went down, and then Chase Briscoe comes along. He gets collected in the aftermath. Both of those cars are out.
Looks like Ryan Blaney, Doug, is going to win his 4th stage in 2024. And, of course, that adds a playoff point. So that
stays with you all the way.
So you get it's a winner chicken dinner for Ryan Blaney. You get the 10 points for being the winner of the stage, and you get the playoff point. And that's exactly, if you have to write a script for a driver in the playoff, that's exactly how you want to get things started.
When they come back around one more time, they will take the green and white checkered flag signifying the end of stage 1 as they have brought Kyle Larson's car. It's beat up on both ends back to the garage here. By the way, stage 1 today was brought to you by eBay Motors. Bring home the cup with eBay's guaranteed fit. Brakes, headlights, and all the parts your vehicle needs the first time, every time. eBay Motors, ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, racing guy, you got a question?
Yeah, I do. You got a great resource up there, Larry McReynolds, who's sat on that box many a time down there. Larry, I'm just curious. You know, we've never done this configuration in the daytime, and I'm just wondering, I mean, any kind of feel from what you saw there that might indicate that, you know, bright sunlight and we're getting close to the end of that stage. I mean, you know, what would that do to the crew chiefs down there after seeing a right front tire blow on a guy like Larson's car?
Well, I think the big thing, especially if you're one of those other 3 Hendrick drivers and teams and crew chiefs, you're wanting to know what was the air pressure in the right front. But this happened too deep into a run. If you have a failure because of too much camber or too low air pressure, it's not going to go 50-something laps. I get a feeling he ran over something, or it could have just been a right front suspension failure. I don't think this was self-inflicted by low air pressure or aggressive camber setting. Too deep into the run.
I tell you what, every time you look at the replay, it feels like the impact gets even harder because that car jerked right, and I mean straight in there, and pancaked the right side of that car. And then as he bounced off the outside safer barrier, heading back down the racetrack, Chase Briscoe full on the gas, trying to get by to the inside, rips into the back of Larson's car, and of course that's knocked both of those cars out of the event.
When the field comes around next time, that will be the end of stage 1, green and white checkered flag in the air with the yellow flag. So top 10 for stage 1, the winner picking up that playoff point that we've talked about was Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric 2nd, Alex Bowman 3rd, Joey Logano 4th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 5th, 6th to Chastain, Chase Elliott was 7th, 8th William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., who started at the back, rallied to get to 9th, and Ty Gibbs rounds out the top 10.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Hunt Brothers Pizza, you can choose from 10 toppings at no extra charge. In a hurry, call ahead to place an order or grab a hunk of pizza on the go. Find the nearest location at huntbrotherspizza.com and follow me, Joey Logano, all season long.
By downloading the free PRN mobile app, you can listen to all of our live race broadcast anywhere. You'll also have easy access to all of our award-winning studio shows. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app.
Today's broadcast from Atlanta Motor Speedway, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. We'll have the Stage 1 pit stops when we return. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Where's his place in all of this?
So I look at Jimmy Johnson, and maybe I have a little bit different perspective because I grew up with Richard Petty while he was winning all of his championships and stuff. And it was tough. It's tough to win championships. I mean, so many great drivers, as we go back in time, won lots of races and never won championships. So many great drivers won lots of races, never won Daytona. Those big moments, they just couldn't get over that hump. So to win 7, no matter how you win 7, is amazing. I believe, and I have said this a million times on a million different occasions, Jimmy Johnson's 5 in a row is the most underrated record in all of sports. It gets very little attention. Very little attention. We talk about Tiger Woods winning all these majors. We talk about Michael Jordan and LeBron James. You talk about everything that Richard Petty has done, everything Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s done. 5 in a row. Nobody's done 5 in a row.
We're back at Atlanta Motor Speedway getting a look at these two wrecked machines. The front end of Chase Briscoe's Mahindra Tractors Ford completely used up. And I don't know how you describe Kyle Larson's car, the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet, front and back, and everything's dented but the roof, Larry, on that car.
Well, there's no telling how fast he was running when he hit that wall, because we saw it on the replays. You know, the car just went dead right. And, of course, 2 playoff drivers, Larson and Briscoe, they're going to walk away with no stage points and only 1 or 2 regular season points.
By the way, since they reconfigured this track in 2022, I think Larson would kind of like, maybe I'll take this weekend off when he sees it on the schedule next time. 5 DNFs in 6 races at Atlanta now for Kyle Larson.
He couldn't have been real excited to see it was the first race in the playoffs this year. Yeah, but he's resolved. I mean, he does have that cushion of playoff points coming in here, but you hate to use up that many this early on.
Well, he's used his mulligan up before the end of stage 1 in race number 1 of round 1. So they've got to be solid. We know he'll be tough at the road course at Watkins Glen. He's won there, and we know he'll be tough at Bristol.
So right now, Kyle Larson out of this. Chase Briscoe is also out. They're still cleaning up over there inside of turn 2. Doug Turnbull, I know you've got a good view of that.
Yeah, I got it right in my eyes, too, as they're blowing this dust and all the stage dry off of the racetrack. One interesting development in the cleanup is not going to affect the racing itself, but they towed both Kyle Larson and Chase Briscoe's cars to an access road to go the back way to the garage. Briscoe's they took on the regular pull-behind wrecker. Larson's, they had to drop it off, and the fans were sitting there watching because it is just yard sailed on both ends of it. Now they're trying to load it up on a flatbed, too. So Larson's car, at one moment, was a gleaming, shining piece of machinery at the front of the field. Now it goes straight to Dale Jr.'s race graveyard, that is. And let's hear now from Wendy Venturini.
Joey Logano will be one of the first cars on my end of pit road. He was building tight, but he said, if you make it any freer in the back, I'm going to get worse. So we are expecting just an air pressure adjustment there for Joey Logano. Also, big mover on my end, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. qualified 27th, moved up to 5th. He was too tight, but it's 4 tires and no adjustments for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Brad Gilley.
Alex Bowman says his car got a little bit tighter as the run went on. It's going to be a 4-tire change. They'll pack him with Sunoco. He was told to wait on fuel. He gets a 4-tire change very fast. Martin Truex Jr. says his car has a little bit too much push. 4 tires for him, 4 tires in Sunoco for Chase Elliott as well. Brett McMillan.
Ryan Blaney wanted to be tighter. They gave him a 4-tire change, held him here to make sure the car was full of fuel. Also, with Michael McDowell, he was here. He wanted to be tightened up. He said that the car got some adjustments to the left rear. He got a 4-tire change, and he's gone.
The race off of pit road with a 2-tire stop. Alex Bowman first off the pit lane, followed by Austin Cindric, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Blaney. Then it was Logano, Byron, Chastain, Gibbs, Elliott, and Martin Truex Jr.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
1 in 4 vehicles will need a battery this year. Don't wait until it's too late to replace yours. Test your battery today and stop by your nearest Napa for a full range of long-lasting, high-performance replacements. Need a quick update? All the drivers went with 4 tires on that pit stop, including Alex Bowman. His team busted off a great lap to get him off the pit lane first. When we come back, the beginning of stage number 2 in the Quaker State 400. You're listening to PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
If you have a chance to make a difference in a kid's life, you need to take full advantage of that opportunity.
For those kids to know somebody has their back, somebody is caring about them, thinking about them when they feel like nobody is.
Anything that I can do now to support Speedway Children's Charities, I do, because I've seen the work firsthand.
We owe it to children, no matter where they come from.
Unfortunately, there is no end to some of the terrible atrocities in our world. Speedway Children's Charities can feel really good that we are getting the most good out of every dollar that's given. At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
Help every child we can.
Because all children
deserve joy
and hope
and love.
And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
Because their future is our future.
And there's still so much they can teach us.
Find out more at speedwaycharities.org.
Let's pause 10 seconds now for station identification. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Doug Rice and Mark Yarrow up here in the booth, joined briefly by Larry McReynolds out in the turns today. It's Doug Turnbull, Pat Patterson. Pit Road, of course, Wendy Venturini, Brad Gilly, and Brett McMillan. Let's give you a Cheddar's leaderboard here. Alex Bowman is the new race leader. Austin Cindric is second. Stenhouse is third. Blaney rides fourth. Logano fifth. Sixth to William Byron. Chastain is seventh. Ty Gibbs is eighth. Chase Elliott ninth. And Martin Truex Jr. is 10th.
Harrison Burton, 11th. 12th is Josh Berry. Kyle Busch is 13th. 14th is Todd Gilliland. Daniel Suarez, 15th. 16th is Reddick. Haley, 17th. Michael McDowell, the pole sitter, now down to 18th. 19th, Noah Gregson. Rounding out the top 20, Christopher Bell.
Daniel Hemrick, 21st. 22nd, Carson Hocevar. Shane Van Gisbergen, 23rd. 24th, Denny Hamlin. Zane Smith, 25th. John Hunter Nemechek is 26th. 27th, Eric Jones. LaJoy rides 28th. Keselowski, 29th. And Ryan Preece is 30th.
31st is going to be Austin Dillon. Bubba Wallace, 32nd. J.J. Yeley, 33rd. 34th, B.J. McLeod. 35th, Chris Buescher. Cody Ware, 36th. The two drivers out of the race after that big crash in turn one. Kyle Larson will get credit for 37th. Chase Briscoe for 38th.
And that running order is going to get all messed up here because about a half dozen cars decided to come on pit road and top their tanks. That's the Cheddar's leaderboard update brought to you by Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen, your place for American classics like slow smoked baby back ribs, grilled salmon, and country fried chicken at prices that make you smile. Larry, what's going on with these 7 or 8 that decided to come in here and top?
Yeah, most notably, I saw Brad Keselowski and Christopher Bell. They were drivers that were at the back of the pack. And again, anything you can do to keep fuel in that car and keep it full, that's going to shorten the next pit stop. This is a longer stage. This is 100 laps. We're going to go back racing with 93 to go. You're going to have to make at least one pit stop in this stage for fuel. Fuel window's about 70 laps, but I don't see them splitting stages if we stay caution-free. You do not want to make a green flag stop here with as long as pit road is starting over in turn 3.
Just amazes me nowadays how early we start talking about fuel in these races. It's crazy.
From the drop of the – well, no, when they say driver, start your engine.
Yeah. Can you save me a little bit on the starting of the engines? Mark Yarrow, they're getting ready to come out of 4 here into the Geico restart zone.
Again, we're about to start stage number 2 in the Quaker State 400 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Bowman on the outside of the first row. Cindric to his inside. Bowman now getting a big push from Stenhouse. Cindric from his teammate Ryan Blaney.
And they are hooked up as they pull away from the rest of the pack there. Alex Bowman had led only 14 laps this season. Here he was at the front as the Penske teammates surge around him. Cindric in the lead, followed by Blaney.
Cindric picks off the lead with a nice push from his teammate Blaney to the outside. He's got to deal with Bowman. Stenhouse is there. William Byron's in the mix. side by side with Joey Logano. But up front, it is Austin Cindric with the lead off 4.
Cindric is going to get challenged for that lead as they come back to the line. He's down low, coming hard to his outside. That is going to be Alex Bowman. Can he make the pass in 1?
And Cindric tried to block him coming out of turn 4, went back low to pick up his teammate Blaney. Now Alex Bowman surges to the outside, pulls even with Cindric, but Cindric is pulling the bottom line even with Bowman.
Side by side for first, for second, for third. They're all side by side into 3 here at Atlanta. Bottom of the racetrack is Austin Cindric. He's holding serve. Bowman to the outside. Here comes Bowman with a run off the hill.
He gets a big run off the top of the racetrack. At the line, it is Bowman by inches, the new leader here at Atlanta, but Cindric fights back. They're nose to nose now in turn 1.
With a big shove from Ryan Blaney. In fact, Cindric almost lost the hold of that car. He gathers it up, keeps the lead, gets away from Blaney, and is even with Bowman.
Might be all that Alex Bowman needs to maybe advance down here on this end of the racetrack, but that Ford power brings Cindric back to the bottom of the racetrack and a half a car out in front of Bowman. Bowman now ties it up again. Here they come, door to door, all 4.
Racing like the last lap, 10 rows deep, side by side. Cindric and Bowman, and now Blaney is going to give Cindric a shove into 1.
For the second lap in a row, Cindric gets that big shove, has to hold on to it there with all that energy. He slides up to the top lane. He staves off the push from Alex Bowman. Then Cindric goes back low to pick up Blaney.
Cindric's got enough space to try to hold off the lanes, but he can't throw the block. He can't be in 2 places at once. Blaney now takes a look underneath. Blaney might want to lead this thing. He's side by side with Bowman, but Cindric holds on up front.
As they come down to the stripe again, Bowman on the outside, working hard just ahead of the man inside him, Ryan Blaney.
And Ryan Blaney there gets a push from William Byron there as he tries to pull up to the rear end of Austin Cindric. Cindric's going to hold that spot. Blaney's going to tuck in line behind him and move to the top line in front of Bowman.
Now let's see if the 2 Fords can separate themselves just a little bit from those Chevys. Joey Logano on the move. Big move as he goes down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to work his way into the top 5, but it's a couple Fords that'll lead him off 4.
Got to thank Larry McReynolds for showing up. He's been the ambassador for Quaker State this weekend here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Of course, you can hear him on Sirius XM and see him on Fox Television. Larry, thanks for adding your expertise. I don't know how you feel. I feel like this is some of the most entertaining racing we see anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we're 72 laps into this 400-mile race, and right now the top 26 drivers separated by basically 2 seconds. So I don't know how you could want any more than that. But I say this, Team Penske, they came to play today. I mean, you look at the fact they've got 3 inside the top 5, and Harrison Burton in that 21 car. I still say it. He's playing with house money. He's sitting there in 11th right now.
And he finished 11th in this race back in the spring. He knows that this could be a springboard to maybe get him to that second round.
And as you guys talk about it, he just springs up to the 9th spot, just past 2 cars. So Burton definitely on the move.
I spoke with him on Wednesday, spoke with his crew chief, Jeremy Bullins. They definitely had this race circled. Whether they made the playoffs or not, they knew this is where they could make some noise.
Larry, thanks for dropping by. I always appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Safe drive back up to Charlotte. The leaders are back down into 1, led by Austin Cindric.
And they settled down to the last lap. The top 4 are single file. That goes Cindric, Blaney, Bowman, and Stenhouse. And it's 2 wide for 5th. Byron up high. Joey Logano down low, followed by Ty Gibbs and Ross Chastain.
Yeah, Ty Gibbs, Ross Chastain. You got Chase Elliott back there in the mix, as well as Michael McDowell and his teammate as they work at the bottom of the racetrack. Harrison Burton on the move, trying to take a spot away. Single file, the top 7 cars.
86 laps to go here in Stage 2. Stage 2 brought to you by Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen. And great prices. Come back again soon. The whole PRN gang took over one in Nashville a few weeks ago and had a great time. Mark Guerra, we're seeing a lot of energy now in single file racing. Austin Cindric got out front, and it's calmed down a little bit.
And, of course, as soon as you say that, Ross Chastain pops out of line, powers around Joey Logano. And now as they work their way out of turn number 4, it is Cindric, Blaney, Bowman, now side by side, inside, Stenhouse, Byron, and Chastain. They're duking it out for the 5th spot.
And Stenhouse is slipping back on some old shoes. In fact, Daniel Suarez is into the top 10. Goes around Stenhouse for 7th as William Byron ahead of him gets around Ross Chastain. They're trailing 3rd place Alex Bowman.
Cindric midway down the backstretch. Then it's Blaney, then it's Bowman, then it's William Byron, then it's Ross Chastain. Byron now will go to work on his teammate to the outside. He'd like that 3rd spot. Can he make a mover off of turn number 4?
That's a battle for the 3rd spot right now. Side by side, Bowman down low, working to his outside. William Byron right in the tire tracks of Byron. It's going to be Ross Chastain.
A bunch of bow ties. They're tangled up behind the two Fords of Cindric and Blaney leading this race here on lap 77. They're pulling away. It's too wide for third. The Hendrick teammates, Bowman down low, Byron up high.
Ross Chastain's going to get in the middle of this teammate battle. He'll give a little shove to Willie B. Now drops down to the bottom of the racetrack, and that's where you'll find Ricky Stenhouse. Daniel Suarez on the move, trying to work his way into the top 5.
Here's a new name to think about, Justin Haley. Haley goes by Burton. Todd Gilliland now lines up on the back bumper of Joey Logano as they head to turn 1.
And Kyle Busch right in front of him is just in front of that. It's 3 wide. Harrison Burton on the middle. Down low, Chase Elliott. Stenhouse, rather, gets around the Daniel Suarez cars. They're all wadded up there in the back of the top 10.
And mix up a little Kyle Busch into this as well. He's trying to fight his way up with his Chevy now midway through 3 and 4. It's Blaney again off 4.
Kyle Busch has been a popular pick coming into this race. I mean, he finished within less than a half a second of winning it back in the spring. A good one to pick. Cindric continues to lead.
He does, and he's fading up to the middle lane. Blaney's going to go with him. William Byron's going to go to the high lane and try to work to the outside of his teammate Alex Bowman, but Bowman slams the door.
Side-by-side battles a little further back here, the 5th and 6th spot. Ricky Stenhouse keeps challenging on the bottom of the racetrack. Can't quite make things work. Chase Elliott rides right behind him now off turn 4.
Let's go to the Care Center. I believe Brad Gilly is caught up with Chase Briscoe.
Chase Briscoe's out of the infield Care Center. First, Chase, are you okay? And second, can you tell us what happened on the track?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, you know, we were running, I don't know, 10th or 12th area, and I guess the 5 car got really loose and like went head on into the fence. And I saw him coming down the track and was obviously trying to slow down, and I was trying to get farther left because I knew he was going to slide down the track, and at the last minute he kind of slid down farther than I was anticipating. So I tried to turn back right, and I KO'd him. So yeah, big hit for me, big hit for him, and yeah, just an unfortunate way to end our day. That's NASCAR though. You can be on top of the mountain one day and you can be at the bottom of the mountain the next. So just got to go on to Watkins Glen or Bristol and try to get a win.
All right, good luck to you next week at Watkins Glen.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, there is Chase Briscoe out of the Care Center, but obviously distraught here after a bad finish at Atlanta with the playoffs opener.
Chase Briscoe was the darling of Darlington, but today not so much, as Briscoe will leave here finishing 38th out of 38 cars. Brandon Hutchinson drops by the booth. He is the Executive Vice President, General Manager of Atlanta Motor Speedway. Brandon, I'll say the obvious. Beautiful weather, really nice crowd, compelling racing. Don't know you can ask for a lot more.
I tell you what, Doug, the Quaker State 400 available at Walmart race weekend has been phenomenal, and what's playing out in front of us right now is just more of what we expected.
And you guys had the pleasure of announcing a sponsorship for your February Xfinity race, too.
The Bennett Transportation and Logistics 250 will be here next February. We can't wait for next year. We've got racing in February. We've got night racing in June. We're going to be the place to be, man.
Brandon, what do the fans tell you about the racetrack now? I mean, the crowds are getting bigger and bigger, so I guess that's the way you vote, right? If more fans show up because they like what they see. But what's the feedback you've been getting about this track? Because I keep telling people you don't see anything like this on any other 1.5-mile track.
I'm so humbled. The 2 words I hear the most is thank you. The fans have spoken loud and clear. As you see, the crowds are getting bigger. The racing is phenomenal. We try to make sure we're entertaining NASCAR fans as good as anybody on the circuit.
Well, I think you do that in spades. This place is beautiful. It's a great layout, and it puts on what I feel like is absolutely one of the best shows in any form of racing.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. We hope that it will continue for the next 176 laps. The Quaker State 400 available at Walmart is a weekend not to forget. Listeners got to come and see us.
I plan on coming back even though I won't be working. How's that?
Your family, Doug. Come back anytime.
All right. Thanks a lot, Brandon Hutchinson. He's Executive VP, General Manager here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Mark, Austin Cindric's been out front by himself now for about 4 laps. We saw a 4-car length lead. That's the biggest lead I think we've seen the entire race today.
And Doug, he's the first guy that's been able to control both lanes. He's out front all by himself. Behind him, 9. Now make it 10 lanes of 2x2 as Cindric will lead them down across the line. We're about to complete lap 74, 26 of stage 2. That leaves 74 to go. And again, Cindric is the one guy that has proven to have enough muscle to go up and down the racetrack and control those 2 lines.
86 laps in the book, top 5. Austin Cindric, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Ross Chastain.
Napa! Did you know that 1 in 4 vehicles on the road will need a new battery this year? Don't wait till it's too late to do something about it. Test your battery regularly, and if you need a replacement, Napa has you covered with a full range of long-lasting, high-performance batteries for every make and model on the road. So don't wait until your car won't start or you're stranded on the side of the road. Test your battery today or find the replacement you need at Napa locations nationwide, because it's our mission to keep you moving.
This NASCAR season, Toyota Racing isn't looking for just anyone to join the team. No, we're looking for bankers, the ones who are open on Sundays.
So if you live for the gravity-defying 31-degree banks like this one on Turn 4 at Daytona,
then we want you. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
Is your insurance playbook too confusing? Well, make it easy. Switch to Geico and get all your insurance coverage from one place. Go to geico.com today to get started. Out front still, it's Austin Cindric, the 5th different leader in the Quaker State 400. He's led 21 laps. So far, the laps-led leader, Ryan Blaney, with 33. The pole sitter, Michael McDowell, with 29. You're listening to PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hey, this is Carson Hocevar, and you're listening to Country Radio Hall of Famers Kathy Martindale and Paul Shad on Racing Country Classic.
It's Kathy and Tim McGraw.
I can see you getting more into the technical. I can see you producing.
It's a fun thing to learn. I enjoy doing it. When I get the opportunities to do it, I try to learn as much as I can.
Hey, it's Kathy Martindale and Paul Shad on Racing Country Classic.
Racing Country Classics.
Each year, vehicle trespasser and pedestrian accidents along railroads change the course of innocent lives, from train operators and passengers to families and first responders. Interacting safely with tracks and trains is the goal. It's important to be alert when approaching crossings. Never drive or walk around lowered gates. Do not walk on or beside the tracks. Trespassing is dangerous and illegal. Don't risk your life. Keep clear and stay safe. For more information, visit metrolinktrains.com/stay safe.
Austin Cindric has now led 23 straight laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's comfortable. He is out front by himself. Everyone else, pretty much 6 rows back, are running side by side. The top 30 cars are within 2 seconds of each other. That tells you how competitive this race is today. Cindric is the leader. Alex Bowman is second. Third, Ryan Blaney. William Byron fourth. Chastain is fifth. Stenhouse Jr. sixth. Suarez seventh. Chase Elliott eighth. Kyle Busch ninth. And 10th to Logano.
11th right now, it is going to be Justin Haley, Todd Gilliland 12th, 13th Martin Truex Jr., Gibbs is 14th, Bubba Wallace 15th, and it's Harrison Burton, Redditt, Gregson, Jones, and Keselowski to round out the top 20.
And 21st, it's going to be Christopher Bell, 22nd, Daniel Hemrick, Carson Hocevar, 23rd, Chris Buescher, 24th, 25th to Michael McDowell, John Hunter Nemechek is 26th, LaJoy 27th, Shane Van Gisbergen 28th, 29th, Austin Dillon, Zane Smith is 30th.
31st, Ryan Preece, Josh Berry in the 32nd spot. Denny Hamlin still hasn't made a big move. He is 33rd after starting 38th. Cody Ware 34th, 35th is B.J. McLeod, J.J. Daly 36th. And if you just joined us, Kyle Larson lost a right front tire, smashed the wall. Chase Briscoe hit him as he bounced off the safer barrier. They're the only 2 cars out. Larson will get credit for 37th, Briscoe for 38th.
The other 36 cars are still all on the lead lap. That full field rundown brought to you by RaceDayNFT.com. Are you a true racing fan? Do you like adding those die-cast cars and race weekend hats to your collection? Then race on over to RaceDayNFT.com and sign up for free and get the best in collectibles delivered right to your door. And everybody seems to be content to ride around. Brad Gilly, is there a reason for that maybe?
There is, Doug. It's called saving fuel. You know, they could go the first 60-lap stage on one tank of Sunoco fuel. Everyone did that. They all topped off. Some of them came back down, as you guys had reported, right before we went back to green. But right now, every driver out there who is not leading the race like Austin Cindric, in my section of pit road is being told, save as much fuel as you can. Now, when it's going to get interesting is when they have to come down for green flag pit stops. They want to spend as little time as possible, but they're not going to be able to make this 100-lap stage fuel all the way on one tank. They will have to come down.
So that's a look at the fuel strategy brought to you by Sunoco. From fueling your favorite NASCAR teams to filling up at the pump, Sunoco is trusted to help vehicles perform at their peak. Sunoco, performance is what we do.
Got a little three-wide action here along the front stretch. It's Stenhouse, Suarez in the middle, and down on the inside, Justin Haley.
How about that, Justin Haley? Grady Health Systems Ford to the bottom. Suarez, three-wide middle, is going to lose the position, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is up high as Haley powers around them and down the backstretch.
Going to be three wide again here if Kyle Busch decides to go to the bottom of the racetrack. He thinks better of it. Drops in behind Suarez. Up in front of him, is Haley in the 51 down low on the racetrack. Still side-by-side action all four.
Haley thought about making it three wide going into turn 3, and Ross Chastain nothing doing. He slammed the door. Leaders back in turn 1.
But Haley's going to pay it back. He goes right to Chastain's rear bumper, then washes up the racetrack there. That's about the 5th position there in turn 1. And turn 2, Austin Cindric driving right in the middle of the two lines, leaving the pack.
Down the backstretch, here we go again. Daniel Suarez, the guy that's going to look to make it three wide again. Really tricky entrance here into 3. Stenhouse slides up the racetrack, makes a little extra room, and now it gets tight again.
Suarez riding back there in the 9th spot right now, trying to make a run to the front. He is to the inside of Haley. Chase Elliott trying to get in that mix.
And they're three wide. Chase Elliott up high. Kyle Busch in the middle. Down low, the blue and white Martin Truex Jr. machine, as it's going to be several cars trying to get to the bottom line behind him.
I guess somebody wants to save some fuel, and somebody wants to just get racy. There's a bunch of them doing it right now as they enter turn 3. Once again, Cindric out in front. Willie B on the top side of that second position with Ryan Blaney right below him.
Truex, who's been in a bit of a rut, making things happen early on as he now trails the Suarez Stenhouse machines. That time by, it looks like Truex was running 7th.
Easily the fastest running Toyota as Truex pulled right to the rear bumper of Suarez in turn 4. That had to back off so he didn't hit him there. He'll settle down up in front of them. 2 wide for second. Blaney down low, Bowman up high.
Ross Chastain is kind of mixing it up here in the very front. He sits back there in that 5th spot, if you will, bottom of the racetrack. Behind him, Suarez, Stenhouse, and Martin Truex Jr.
Chastain's been camped out around 5th or 6th for the majority of this race today. Right now, he is battling for the 4th spot. To his outside, it's going to be William Byron.
And Byron there just stalking right behind his Hendrick teammate of Alex Bowman, who's 2 wide for the second position. Behind Byron, it's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with Daniel Suarez down low, having a great run.
Down the backstretch, they run right beside right beside Haley is Kyle Busch. Right behind Kyle Busch is the 22 of Joey Logano. Chase Elliott up in front of those two. Stenhouse holding on in that 8th spot.
102 laps complete. That leaves now at this point 42 down in stage number 2, 58 to go in this second stage in the Quaker State 400. Again, Austin Cindric, your leader, by 0.2 of a second over Alex Bowman.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My daughter invited her entire class to her birthday party. Can my Wi-Fi handle it?
Oh, well, at Xfinity, our latest gateways have tri-band Wi-Fi technology, letting you connect hundreds of devices at once.
So if all the kids are watching stuff on their phones, well, their parents are sharing videos online.
Yep, they can all do their thing and party their way.
Oh, we are gonna need a bigger cake.
Xfinity. Bring on the good stuff. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more. Restrictions apply.
We work hard to keep our cars looking great on the outside, but engine components need our attention too. That's where you can trust Z-Max Micro Lubricant to disperse carbon buildup in your engine, fuel system to keep your car or truck running at its peak. By soaking into the metal of your engine, Z-Max Micro Lubricant improves performance, extends engine life, and reduces emissions. Trust the many customers who've said, "Thanks for saving my engine." Find out more at zmax.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
104 laps down, 156 to go. Austin Cindric just became the lap leader for this race. He has led 36 circuits. Blaney has led 33. Top 5 are Austin Cindric, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, William Byron, and Ross Chastain. You're listening to PRN, the Performance Racing Network. Time to pull down on the handle and start rolling them here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
The green flag flies at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
We're about to contest the Coca-Cola 600.
We're racing at Texas Motor Speedway.
Now Keselowski goes way up the racetrack.
Here comes Harrison Burton. He rockets to the lead.
Trouble. Car goes around. It's Chris Buescher.
Joey Logano battles to the outside. They come back to the start-finish line.
Bubba Wallace looks inside, and now here's Byron. Takes a quick left to block him. They head back to one.
Here goes Ross Chastain. He's going to the bottom of the racetrack.
Bubba goes up. Blaney hits the outside wall off of turn 2.
Can Christopher Bell do anything with him? He gets down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Briscoe dives to the bottom of the racetrack, side by side. They get loose. They spin. Now Tyler Reddick does a 360. So does Briscoe.
Heading into turn number 7 as he wraps it around. The crowd is cheering for Daniel Suarez here on this final lap.
Allmendinger gets into Alex Bowman. Ross Chastain back out to the front for the final time.
This is PRN.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. 107 laps complete now. Stage 2 ends at lap 160. Even though a lot of the drivers are saving fuel, that doesn't mean that their cars aren't a handful. In fact, Kyle Busch, who's running 14th right now, jumped on the radio, told crew chief Randall Burnett, "I am all over the place. My car is tight, 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 loose, loose, loose. It changes at the snap of a finger." He's got a handful out there, Doug and Mark.
At this point, Austin Cindric has led 40 laps. He is the lap leader in this, the top lap leader at this point in the race. Ryan Blaney, 33 laps led. Michael McDowell has led 29. Martin Truex Jr., who is currently running 9th, has made up the most positions since the start, plus 27. But since the restart, one guy that I've been keeping an eye on is Eric Jones, the Dollar Tree Toyota for Legacy Motor Club, Doug. He has made some big, bold moves going 3 wide at certain points, and Jones has worked up 17 positions, currently in 10th.
Mark, I'm kind of curious what's going on in the Denny Hamlin camp. We documented that he started 38th today. They had terrible problems yesterday. The car just would not go. He has only moved up to 33rd. I don't think they have let him hit the loud pedal yet and said go up there and try to get him. Let's check out on pit road Brad Gilly.
Well, Doug, they started the race off being very conservative, staying out of the fray in the opening laps of this race. Denny Hamlin was told he could go. He went and passed about 3 cars and sort of stalled out right there. It appeared that they were conserving fuel, and it seems like that's still what they're doing at this point right now. However, Denny has told crew chief Chris Gabehart his car is a little bit loose out there. I think the one thing he's a little wary of doing is trying to totally run his way up through the field. At a certain point, if he can, he's going to have to, but there's not been anything that I've heard said on the radio about them doing that anytime soon.
And it's easy to spot Denny in that Mavis tire and brake, like kind of aqua blue and yellow paint scheme, and he is just riding back there. And for you and I, it would be the same thing as just kind of cruising down the interstate all by your lonesome. He has made no attempt to really pass anybody and just kind of found a place to ride.
But of course, there's not a lot to gain, but you would think maybe he'd want to get up there and try to grab a stage point or two, because with the hits that he has taken in the points category this year, you'd think he'd want to get some of them back. Here they come back out of turn 4, across the line. Familiar formation. Austin Cindric in the lead by himself, and then 5 rows deep at 2x2, Doug Turnbull.
And that they're saving fuel but staying too wide. So it's Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, and Daniel Suarez, the first 3 cars down low. Up high, the first 3 cars are Bowman, Byron, and Stenhouse.
Mark mentioned just a second ago the run of Eric Jones. I kind of been watching that myself. Jones is back here trying to approach the 10th spot. He's alongside Martin Truex Jr., but that car has been very good so far in the moves he's made.
As they work their way out of turn 4, Cindric out front, side by side, Blaney, Bowman, then side by side, Chastain and Byron.
Great runs for them. Martin Truex Jr. just gave a little bumper music to Daniel Suarez entering turn number 1, but doesn't advance a spot as this field just stays glued together with Austin Cindric being the master up front.
Joey Logano's kind of waning away back here behind the number 43 of Jones. That's where you find Kyle Busch as well. Regular season champ Tyler Reddick back there in the mix as well. Everybody 2x2 all 4.
And we've got our second yellow flag of the day. Debris on the front stretch slows everybody down. So piece of debris that NASCAR spies on the front stretch brings out our second yellow of the day with 46 laps to go here in stage 2.
Oh, 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 O'Reilly.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge, just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Welcome to the land of the free, where we pledge allegiance to the flag, salute the heroes of old, and raise a cup to the new gladiators who dare take on the last great Coliseum. The Bass Pro Shops Night Race NASCAR weekend returns to Bristol Motor Speedway September 19th through 21st. Get a weekend package and see Dale Jr. race on Friday. There's no place like Bristol. It's not just a race, it's Bristol, baby.
We're at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The race slowed for debris here along the front stretch at Atlanta Motor Speedway. At this point, we are 55 laps into the 100 that make up stage number 2 as we complete lap 115. Still 145 to go, the whole distance today in the Quaker State 400. We'll have pit stops when we come back. You're listening to PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines for the 4th annual Women with Drive, driven by Mobil 1 Summit, taking place in Indianapolis, Indiana, December 9th through the 11th to kick off PRI Show Week. As a property of Women in Motorsports North America, this conference brings together both women and men to discuss the current issues and needs to advance opportunities for a more diverse and inclusive environment to help grow the motorsports industry. Head to womenwithdrivesummit.com to learn more and register now.
We are Lions International, the world's largest service organization. We are volunteers committed to strengthening our communities and supporting those in need, one act of kindness at a time. For more than a century, Lions have been serving a world in need, right here in our community and around the world. Lions International makes the impossible possible. This is your invitation to join us, because the only thing missing from our mission to make a difference is you. Visit lionsclubs.org to find a local Lions Club near you.
Under caution here, which brings us on pit road at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 115 laps in, we have debris on the front stretch. In front of me, Ross Chastain is in for 4 tires and fuel. No adjustments for Ross Chastain, who had worked his way up to the top 5. Also on pit road, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. said, leave it as it is because they won't be good on the long run. Brad Gilley.
Alex Bowman came in, fuel only for him. Kyle Busch gets a 4-tire change, 2 tires for Chase Elliott. They're down and away, topped off with Sunoco Racing Fuel. Brett McMillan.
Fuel only for Austin Cindric. Meanwhile, Chris Busch is getting a 4-tire change. He's also getting a left side adjustment, and he's gone.
So as they come off the pit lane, it is going to be Austin Cindric barely beating Alex Bowman out. Also Blaney next in line, 4th Suarez. They did not change tires. Meanwhile, William Byron took 2. He's 5th off the pit lane, followed by Elliott, who also took on 2 tires. Logano 7th off the pit lane with no tires, 2 tires for Bubba Wallace. He's 8th coming off of pit lane.
And Mark, the message that sends right now is that tires are just not that important. You can get a really good run. They may go 100 laps here on the same set of tires, but fuel is the key. They're going to be able to go all the way to the end of stage 2 now, 44 laps to go.
They could not script it out any better if you're a crew chief, right? You don't want to pit under green here. It is an iffy proposition having to go that far around and the car's running that fast. So they get to pit under yellow, and as you say, Doug, they have now more than enough to make their way to the end of stage number 2, and that means no more riding for fuel mileage. They'll be getting at it here when they drop the green flag.
At least for this stage, assuming that people do want to pit at the end of stage 2. Some of them may forego that, stay out and try to grab track position. Let's go back to Wendy.
A little bit of a bump on pit road. Tyler Reddick took fuel only, and as he was leaving, Carson Hocevar was coming into his pit stall. The 45 and the 77 of Carson Hocevar made contact on pit road. So coming back down again will be Tyler Reddick. They're going to top it off with fuel and check to see exactly how much damage he has. He just stopped in front of me. It's nothing on the left. I do know it was on the right-hand side, but they are checking the toe right now If you see a long, straight apparatus going from wheel to wheel, they just check the left side. The crew now runs around to the right side, checking the toe right here, and they're reporting back. They are going to put tires on it now for Tyler Reddick, and if they need to adjust anything, they will take this time on pit road. Brett McMillan.
All right, we're going to see Christopher Bell do what he did last time on the one to go. He's going to come on in and top off. The strategy being that as he does that, it means it will shorten the next pit stop he has to make.
Well, that has become so apparent, Mark, that little bit of trickeration that they're doing, coming in, getting as much fuel as they can to shorten the next pit stop. That seems to be the trend of 24, started at Daytona.
It is an awful lot of talk about fuel mileage. Let's go down to Brad Gilley.
Well, I can tell you now for sure, Denny Hamlin and Chris Gabehart, the strategy is to go when it matters, and that's going to be at the end of the race. They didn't come in on lap 116 with everyone else. They came into pit road on the next lap, 117, so they could have a clean entry and a clean exit. As soon as the caution came out, Denny said, quote, once I've got to go, I'm going to need a little bit of help. I need to be aggressive where I'm at landing the car. That means going into the corner. He's told Chris Gabehart, I need my car to be tighter all the way around. The ride quality is good, but what they're doing right now, they're planning for the final stage, not this one.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was about to talk about the fact Denny Hamlin's taking everything easy in this race because, as Brad talked about, he didn't come down pit road when it was all congested and somebody can run into you and all that. They just said, heck, we're on the back, so we'll just come down and casually make our pit stop. And he took on 4 tires where a lot of guys didn't. So, again, that is going to be some strategy they can work with. They may go 2 the next time and try to make some jumps that way on their pit strategy.
Top 8 cars, all playoff drivers. Austin Cindric, Alex Bowman second, third to Blaney. Suarez is fourth, fifth will be William Byron. Elliott is sixth, seventh to Logano. Keselowski rides eighth, Justin Haley ninth, and 10th to Ross Chastain.
Bubba Wallace 11th, Todd Gilliland 12th, 13th Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Jones 14th, 15th Harrison Burton, then it's Truex 16th, 17th is Kyle Buscher, Chris 18th, 19th Noah Gragson, Austin Dillon 20th.
Next 10 will be John Hunter Nemechek, 22nd, Liz LaJoy, 23rd, Shane Van Gisbergen, Ty Gibbs, 24th, 25th, Josh Berry, Christopher Bell, 26th, 27th, Zane Smith. Ware is going to be riding 28th, 29th is Hemrick. Hamlin is 30th, and that is your Napa leaderboard.
So they're working their way out of turn number 4 right now, easing on into the Geico restart zone. There's going to be 41 laps left in stage number 2. Green flag is waving again, and it is Cindric will lead the field to turn number 1.
All familiar faces here at the front. It's Austin Cindric with a push from teammate Ryan Blaney and William Byron just behind them. They get going faster than the top line. That's led by Alex Bowman, Daniel Suarez, and the 9 of Chase Elliott as both Cindric and Blaney break away.
Cindric's out front, then it's Blaney. Good push, though, for Bowman now from Daniel Suarez into turn 3. They ride 2 by 2 there. Blaney on the bottom and Bowman to the outside. Cindric, though, is going to pull the train off 4 again.
Let's see if anybody wants to challenge Cindric. He dives to the bottom. He is the solo leader. Right behind him, side by side, Blaney and Bowman. And then it's going to be William Byron and Suarez together.
With 40 laps to go in the stage and inside the top 10 now after a good pit stop, Brad Keselowski at about the 8th position in his orange Ford. He's side by side with Chase Elliott as Cindric is still up front.
Suarez now making a little bit of a move to the inside for that 5th spot. He'll go right alongside Willie B. Right behind them is where you find Chase Elliott alongside Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Justin Haley now makes it 3 wide. He gets inside of Stenhouse. Now it's Chastain, Stenhouse, Gilliland 3 wide going to turn 1.
That's going to be dicey for Stenhouse, who's the middle car, but he surges in front of Chastain, gets back 2 wide again. As up front, Cindric pulls away, but Blaney and Bowman are side by side for 2nd place.
10th place, there's 5 rows, 6 rows of 2 cars going into turn 3 right now. Up front, once again, Bowman holds on to that second battle with Blaney for that 2nd spot off turn 4.
Getting frisky back there for about the 10th spot. It was 3 wide for a second with Joey Logano, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the mix, and Ross Chastain. Chastain rides 10th right now.
A little bit few positions back from where he was before as Chastain's going to gouge right to the bottom of the racetrack behind Stenhouse. Just in front of them is Brad Keselowski. And now it's 3 wide with Todd Gilliland and Eric Jones behind him.
Yeah, it looked like Eric Jones made a nice move there. Haley moved down the racetrack, so not a problem for him as he tries to work up another spot. Once again, no change up front in the top 6.
Again, Haley charges from the inside, 3 wide. Now he swings up in front of Eric Jones and Harrison Burton. Burton comes to the back bumper of Ross Chastain.
That is just outside of the top 10 as Haley had to back off of that. Now Chastain's going to take Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 3 wide with Chase Elliott. Stenhouse in the middle. Now they're passing Joey Logano. It is tough to get track position here.
3 wide and tight off of turn number 2 down the back stretch. Everybody sorts it out with Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. A lot of great racing up front here today.
That's 3 wide back there battling for about the 10th spot. Chastain on the inside, Stenhouse in the middle, Logano on the outside, and they hold that 3 wide formation into 1.
As Justin Haley tried to choose a lane, he pulls to the bottom. Then Brad Keselowski loose in front of the 3 wide battle. He's going to almost wash up in front of Stenhouse, then pull down low in front of Chastain for 10th.
I said it once, I'll say it again. Really tight back here where Logano, Stenhouse, and Chase Elliott is racing. Stenhouse is the meat and the sandwich off of turn number 4. 3 wide again.
Here's Stenhouse right down the middle, inside of Joey Logano to his inside. It's Chastain. They're locked that way going into 1.
Stenhouse meat and the sandwich. Oscar Mayer is sponsor. That makes sense. He stays 3 wide, doesn't fall back. In fact, surges forward and almost pulls even with Chase Elliott as they're 2 wide with Chastain now.
Big train wreck, or not train wreck, I should say, but a big slowdown there for that group as Chase Elliott kind of slowed that group down and broke up that 3 wide racing. Now everybody gets back to 2 wide racing off 4.
Up front, it's still Austin Cindric. Nobody pushing him. Blaney and Bowman side by side. William Byron and Suarez are the next 2. Then it's Keselowski and Chase Elliott.
And that's the highest position that Suarez has had today as he lurked in the back of the top 10. Now he's in 5th as Austin Cindric is masterful up front, straddling the 2 lanes.
Watching the front, once again, Austin Cindric leads the way into turn 3. Ryan Blaney down below in that 2nd spot as he battles with William Byron. Then you've got William Byron and Alex Bowman there in line with each other.
Watching Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he just got a big push. He got slammed in the back bumper by Justin Haley. He surges forward with Haley right there with him.
And then Haley had to back off, though, and they ran out of energy and falls 2 spots behind. So it's Haley down low, Chastain up high, and Stenhouse in front of them, all just in the very back of the top 10.
Behind that group we're talking about, you've got Eric Jones back there working with Todd Gilliland. He's in the mix. That's where you find Harrison Burton. Kyle Busch is right there as well, and MTJ, all working midway in the pack.
Once again, racing back around 12. See a car go way to the high side. That's Eric Jones. He is trying to get around Ross Chastain. That's a great fight for 12th.
That that Dollar Tree car went to the cheap seats up high there as Chastain is down low. They settle back 2 wide, but Jones is choosing that high line to keep that Toyota wound up down the back straight.
Jones out next to the wall. Chastain underneath him right now as they work into turn 3. Meanwhile, Brad Keselowski backing up, making it 3 wide in the middle of the corner over here in turns 3 and 4.
Stenhouse up to the top of the racetrack. He makes it 3 wide, shuffles Keselowski back as well as Joey Logano. So moves Stenhouse now up to the 5th spot.
Stenhouse there in that 5th position. Down low's Joey Logano. There's some momentum for Brad Keselowski behind him, but Keselowski's 3 wide middle. This field doesn't seem to be saving fuel anymore, Pat Patterson, as they're staying feisty.
Absolutely. Ross Chastain loses a little bit of momentum there going into turn 3, or just smartly gets out of the gas somewhat as they work into 3, breaks up a 3 wide situation back up front.
As they come roaring back to the start-finish line, 30 laps left in stage number 2. Bowman now tries to look to the outside of Cindric, but Cindric won't let him have the lead.
It looks like Bowman lost some momentum there as Byron gets to his rear bumper, has to back off so he doesn't hit him. That makes Blaney 2 wide with Bowman there, but Blaney can't get away from Bowman. They stay 2 wide behind the leader, Cindric.
Behind Bowman is a good battle. There's Chase Elliott right there. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. still in the mix. Then you've got Joey Logano down there in the 22 at the bottom of the racetrack off turn 4.
We have hit the halfway mark of the Quaker State 400, 130 in the books, 130 left to go. Top 10 look like this: Cindric, Blaney, Alex Bowman, Suarez, William Byron, Chase Elliott 6th, 7th to Logano. Stenhouse Jr. is 8th, 9th is going to be Todd Gilliland. Brad Keselowski rounds out the top 10.
This NASCAR playoffs, if you like things spicy, Toyota Racing is looking for you. No, we don't care if you can handle the 5-alarm chili or that Eternal Inferno salsa.
Oh boy. Ooh.
Can you handle how spicy these playoffs will be when the temperature rises on racing's biggest stage?
Water, please.
If you're ready for some serious heat, we want you. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Not that we had anything to worry about weather-wise today, but we've passed the halfway mark of the Quaker State 400. It's official, and we still have 26 laps to go in stage number 2. Again, Austin Cindric is out front. You're listening to PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, it's PRN's Brad Gilley. Did you know you could take PRN with you anywhere? That's right. By downloading the PRN mobile app, you can listen to our live race broadcast from anywhere. Make sure you don't miss a second of the action from the track. Download today for station listings and on-demand access to your favorite studio shows like Fast Talk, The Pit Reporters, or Garage Pass. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app. Available in the Apple App Store and on Google Play.
Hey, I'm Corley Joy for Speedway Children's Charities. The mission for Speedway Children's Charities has remained true since its founding almost 40 years ago. To care for children in educational, financial, social, and medical needs in order to help them lead happy and productive lives. So many children have benefited from our group in the past, but we need your help now more than ever. There's so much we can do when we all join together, so let's start today. Visit speedwaycharities.org to learn more. I thank you in advance for your help.
"24 laps remain in stage 2, 124 in the Quaker State 400. Let's give you our Straight Talk Wireless leaderboard. Austin Cindric leads. He has led 66 laps today. That's the most of any driver. Ryan Blaney is second. Third is Alex Bowman. William Byron fourth. Joey Logano fifth. Suarez is sixth. Chase Elliott seventh. Eric Jones eighth. Ninth to Gilliland. And 10th is Keselowski.
Then in the 11th spot, as Keselowski falls to 10th, Chastain now is marked in 9th, Gilliland 11th, 12th is Stenhouse now, Harrison Burton 13th, Justin Haley 14th, then it's Truex 16th, Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs 17th, Austin Dillon 18th, 19th, Daniel Hemrick, Christopher Bell in 20th.
Zane Smith 21st, LaJoy 22nd, John Hunter Nemechek 23rd, Buescher is 24th, Tyler Reddick 25th, Bubba Wallace 26th, McDowell is 27th, 28th today, Noah Gregson, Ryan Preece 29th, and 30th to Josh Berry.
Denny Hamlin now is moved up to 31st, 32nd B.J. McLeod, Shane Van Gisbergen 33rd, 34th Carson Hocevar. Then it's Cody Ware 35th, 36th is J.J. Yeley. They are all on the lead lap. We have 2 cars out. Kyle Larson will get credit for 37th, Chase Briscoe 38th. If you just joined us, Larson had a right front failure. We don't know if it was a tire, if it was a mechanical failure, but he knocked down the wall. Chase Briscoe hit him as he bounced off the safer barrier.
That rundown brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Pat Patterson, you've seen a lot of races. Are you impressed today with what Austin Cindric's been able to do? He's going to lead lap 70 for himself here in a moment.
I really am. This has been great racing, and it's been exactly what we wanted. 2x2, 3 wide racing as they come off of turn number 4. Keeping my eye on that 43. Mark Harrow mentioned it earlier. Doug Turnbull, you watch him, it looks like Eric Jones can move about wherever he wants to.
And particularly on the high side of the racetrack. And he's got nothing to lose, not in the playoffs, just trying to win as Jones just outside the back of the top 10 there. They're down the back straightaway now, coming to you, Pat.
Up front, once again, it is Austin Cindric doing a great job, and now we got a little bit of action down at the bottom of the racetrack. Joey Logano gets out of the way, so to speak, moves up the racetrack to race Eric Jones off 4.
Eric Jones, again, a good run when Logano bobbled. Immediately, Jones jumps to the outside, 3 wide, with Keselowski down inside of Logano.
And barely hanging on to it as these tires starting to wear out just a little bit. Eric Jones up high, Logano in the middle, Keselowski down low, and Daniel Suarez in the top 5 had a big moment and made a big block on the last lap, too.
A lot of 3 wide racing down the backstretch, all of them trying to sort it out into turn 3. Justin Haley with a great afternoon. He's riding at the bottom of the racetrack. 3 wide, though, for that 8th spot.
Kyle Larson crashed out of this event on lap 56. He will finish 37th today. He was the #1 seed coming in. The leaders are back in 1.
And Austin Cindric has second most points in the last 5 races here at AMS in this new configuration, still leading there. The field 2 wide behind him, almost 3 wide there, back in the top 10.
Watching the 3rd row back, that's where you find Logano. He's going to work with Daniel Suarez, or attempted to, down at the bottom of the racetrack. He rides alongside Eric Jones. Looks like Logano's car's a little loose on him as they work off 4.
With 17 laps in stage number 2, let's go down to O'Reilly Auto Parts pit reporter Brett McMillan.
Well, Mark, you guys have been talking about Austin Cindric's ability to stay in front of one lane or the other, whichever one's advancing the most. Credit a lot to his spotter, Doug Campbell, who is a constant stream of chatter on the radio, letting him know what's going on behind him, describing at least 1 row, maybe 2 rows deep, what's going on, letting him know if the top lane is advancing or the bottom lane is advancing, how close they're getting, if the bottom lane's moving up in the top lane, back and forth. He's the guy that's letting Austin Cindric know exactly what's going on behind him. Like I said, 1, maybe 2 lanes deep. It is constant. And so far, Austin Cindric has now led more laps in this race than he has in any lap in any race previously.
Ross Chastain making it 3 wide down the backstretch, Pat.
Yep, Chase Elliott right in the middle of that with Brad Keselowski. Elliott holds on in the middle. Chastain goes up to the high side of the racetrack as they work off turn 4.
Eric Jones tried to make it 3 wide, getting to the outside of William Byron. Byron shut the door. Byron now has to give way, as now here is Jones moving to his outside.
And that's Byron in the middle, down low. Daniel Suarez, Eric Jones losing ground on the top side as William Byron's going to pull right in front of him there. Cindric still leading down the backstretch.
Again, very impressed with what the Hendrick cars are doing up front right now. Watching Bowman on the outside of Ryan Blaney in that 2nd spot as they come off turn 4.
Bowman has been glued either in 2nd or 3rd every lap right there side by side with Blaney, and it's like they're running military formation there, Doug Turnbull. Nobody in the top 10 moving.
Yeah, but a little bit out of order for sure. A lot easier to march than it is to put that gas pedal all the way down, especially as the handling goes away on these cars. The field's still 2 by 2 with Noah himself, Austin Cindric leading.
Eric Jones now, I'm wondering if Chastain can get to his bumper. Can they help advance themselves a little bit more here? But once again, a great job for the 43 cars. The field works off turn 4.
Chastain down the middle. He goes to the outside of Logano, inside of Eric Jones. We've got only 13 laps left now in stage number 2.
These Cup cars making the middle lane work with cars on either side of them. Not like yesterday at all. Chastain in the membrane goes around to Eric Jones there. It stays 3 wide of the backstretch.
Yeah, this is a battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, right along in there. Chastain at the bottom of the racetrack. Eric Jones to the outside. Right behind them, Chase Elliott takes the top side of the racetrack. Joey Logano on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Eric Jones consistently likes that high line. He is to the outside of Chastain right now. That is a battle for the 7th spot. They'll stay that way.
Remember, Eric Jones does have a Daytona win some 6 years ago. He knows how to do this kind of racing there, just outside of the top 5, and still they stick 2 wide in front of him there with Blaney and Bowman in 2nd.
Back behind Eric Jones right now. A big run from Joey Logano. Chase Elliott to the outside. Here comes Logano to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to get inside of Eric Jones and move right up into the top 6 or 7.
He now moves inside of Chastain. They nearly make contact as Logano goes up the racetrack at the exit of turn 4. 11 laps left now in stage 2.
2 of the most aggressive drivers in Cup, Joey Logano and Ross Chastain, battling it out just outside the top 5. Right behind them, Eric Jones pulling up to Ross Chastain in the back straightaway, trying to get a run.
You can feel that tension and excitement and energy building as we head towards the end of this stage. Up front, though, it's Austin Cindric doing a great job of controlling the race.
With 10 laps to go in stage 2, here are your top 10. Cindric, Bowman, Blaney, Suarez, William Byron is 5th. Then it's Joey Logano, Chastain, Eric Jones, Brad Keselowski, and Chase Elliott. Let's see how much this changes over the next 10 laps.
Of the number 1 car of Ross Chastain can't quite get there to give him a shove.
Back to the line, Cindric once again. Leading, it's unchanged. The 6 behind him running 2 by 2 have stayed that way.
But they're getting more energy there. I just saw Joey Logano make a charge at Daniel Suarez at turn number 1. He pulls
nearly bumps into the man inside him, Logano. They're okay, though, as they head back to 1.
And Stenhouse pulls in front of him, but Brad Keselowski fills the hole 3 wide. He fades back just a bit. Chastain to the outside. Logano with a run off of turn 2, even with Stenhouse exiting on the backstretch.
2 by 2 by 2. That's the way the top 10 run now. Into turn 3, bottom of the racetrack. Once again, Blaney holds that second spot. Suarez is there. There's Joey Logano to the outside.
The run to make a last attempt at Cindric. Too early to do it now, and they're not trying to now as Cindric still leads.
You got all of the Hendrick top horses up here in the mix at this one. Now we got them stacked up 3 wide. It's Brad Keselowski.
Logano in the middle. Chase Elliott down low. Elliott backs out and tucks behind Logano.
Elliott will go alongside Ross Chastain now in that battle as he stays on the bottom of the racetrack. Up front, no change with those 6 cars. However, Ross Chastain keeps trying to make it 3 wide. In that 5th spot, and that's William Byron. If he can get there to try to give a shove, maybe he can get a run on the leader.
Here is Cindric again leading them down across the line. 4 laps left in stage number 2. Blaney
Cindric not going to give this up easily. He wants that playoff point if he can hang out there for 3 more minutes or 3 more laps, and it's still Blaney. And Bowman side by side for second.
And Cindric right in between the top and bottom lines there, keeping him at bay. Nobody advancing on him. As Cindric also handles well, and he's got that car right in between the 2 lines. Keeping him at bay as time is running out at stage 2.
What can Alex Bowman do here? He goes side by side with Blaney in that 2nd position.
Along with William Byron and Suarez.
Blaney, though, does not advance much his teammate Cindric. He stays locked in with Alex Bowman for the 2nd spot. Cindric still a car length in front of them as no one pulling out of line anywhere near the front.
He wins his 3rd stage in 2024. Ryan Blaney winds up 2nd in stage number 2. Alex Bowman 3rd.
relaxing sound of ambient music in a yoga class. And if you were here, you'd listen to 15 Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commute. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Turn 2 is in the history books now, and it belongs to Austin Cindric here at Atlanta Motor Stadium. Any other driver, including your dad.
I think there's two things for Dale Earnhardt that make him who he is. He was that guy that's your neighbor. I don't care if you live in a mobile home. I don't care if you live in a mansion. He's that guy that was your neighbor. Hero on a Sunday afternoon, and you can. What happened at Daytona? Billy Joel, only the good die young, and that's the way you remember it. So I think that moves you to a different place too.
It's here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The field is down on the apron, and they're headed to pit road. That means they will get
but right now they are going to make some air pressure adjustments for Daniel Suarez. It's going to be 4 tires. I see the guy go ahead and hand that hose.
On fuel, they topped him off with Sunoco. Same for his teammate Chase Elliott. Free, but does not want to be tightened up too much. He got 4 tires in Sunoco.
Off the pit lane. Then it's Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ty Gibbs. They changed 4. Then William
Scott Strauss, a 9/11. I was a New York City police officer assigned to finding survivors buried under the rubble of the World Trade Center. Those were learn more.
time it takes to play a new album, you can get answers to deep
So let's see a hearing professional and get those ears checked.
answers are good. Your move?
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to go
car, so he had to stop, let him pull the jack out from underneath the car, and then he got going.
Four laps left in the Quaker State. .400.
And let's see if Denny Hamlin
Brigade is Ross Chastain doing
playoff drivers. Michael McDowell drives to the outside of Chad.
And Michael McDowell behind them. William Byron rolling down at the bottom of the racetrack. He may get a twofer here. Byron charges down at the bottom. He's going to pick up at least one spot, move him up to third.
So McDowell second.
to work with his Chevrolet driver there, Chastain. up front.
Ross Chastain is a good
on that car really pops off the racetrack side by side behind
Ty Gibbs. He's side by side with Daniel Suarez. Then there's Ryan Blaney. Kyle Busch on the march. Bottom of the racetrack. Christopher Bell.
While the field's too wide, the first car 3 wide, no surprise, outside the top 20. That is Eric Jones.
Watching a little
Chastain continues to lead.
And Chastain picks up the top line this time, led by
the outside. Now he'll be 3 wide with Bowman on the bottom of that 3 wide battle.
And on his outside, it's McDowell.
The outside of that second row with Willie B at the bottom. They stay side by side as does the top 10, 15
to their outside, Michael McDowell.
Chastain out front, down the back straight.
Trouble on the back straightaway here. Cars out of line, noses to the inside wall. It's
laps to go.
As the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco.
Protect your vehicle's engine to the max with Z-Max. Check us out at zmax.com or visit us on Facebook. Your favorite auto parts store.
When you get a chance, go to YouTube.
What we've done the last 2 years.
Journeys from the grassroots are always unique. PRNs at the track covers the people pinnacle of America's baddest bull rings. Here, PRN's at the track.
They have scored 19 points today. They have flip-flopped first and second on the two stages. Stages.
Next week, the NASCAR Cup Series heads to Watkins Glen International Raceway, the motor race.
A 3-second drop off on the tire. And I mean, that is going to make a show. As well, so this is a very entertaining round one, a very difficult.
Then up to the Glen, and then over to Bristol Motor Speedway. And remember how hairy that was.
Let's go down to O'Reilly Auto Parts pit reporter.
Stayed out, but here comes Alex Bowman. It's going to be fuel only for him. Fuel only for Kyle Busch, also coming in. That they are going to be able to make it the rest of the way. Byron's team, not so sure.
It was a
see what they're talking about.
He was bumped by Tyler Reddick, so Reddick bumped Suarez. Suarez bumped the car in front of him on pit road. Really tight down there.
A lot of action.
Window was 70.
Crew chief Chris Gabehart. This will be
all day here at Atlanta. He had
Also, we have the team of Michael McDowell. They think they can make it on fuel. William Byron's team
Daniel Suarez could have been one of them, and
making it 3 wide. He's won 3.
Round of pit stops here for our fourth yellow.
Is true. Todd Gilliland 15th, and go.
At Hunt Brothers.
Door to door, they head to 1.
And with
Turn 4.
on the
Coach, stay the same off of 4.
They have picked up.
The pole sitter alongside There's Chase Elliott, Corey LeJeune.
By himself to the front.
Behind them is where you find
Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, Chastain.
Chastain now makes it those top.
But again, this entire race has taken place with Denny Hamlin.
With Geico, we hired a soap opera star.
Gracious me, my car has stolen.
Better than one win, 3 wins. With straight savings, you keep your own phone.
Gibbs is the 9th different leader in the Quaker State 400 with now
what obstacles they may encounter.
Never have we been taxed more.
I say $50 is a lot to give.
That's
Alex Bowman into that conversation. Ty Gibbs, though, the leader, winless, but is a play.
He gets to the outside of William Byron. No, Byron cuts him.
He goes now. He's going to try to get to the bumper of Ross Chastain.
Again, 3 wide with Alex Bowman. In the middle, and Michael McDowell up top.
On the Quaker State 400 at Atlanta. Again, Ty Gibbs.
Now just a little bit. He's up there in the high.
As Nemechek pulls to the apron.
Bubba Wallace moves by the lap.
And continue that 20-year win streak that he's got right now.
Wallace here. They come down the back straight away. Kyle Busch has gained 2 spots in the last.
Byron Chastain now challenging Byron.
Tina Truex.
Looks like Chris Buescher may have got a piece of that as well as we.
And we'll see if any other cars have been wounded in that incident. That is
He's going to be knocked out of the race completely. But let's go down on pit road. Ryan Blaney.
and Bubba says more downforce. That's something
In a hurry, call ahead to place an order or grab a hunk of pizza on the go.
Of long-lasting, high-performance batteries for every make and model on the road.
Broadcast anywhere. You'll also have easy access to all of our
damage along with Ryan Blaney. They're working on Truex's car on pit road right now. I'm working yellow flag number 5 today here in the Quaker State 500.
It's its own animal. It's got its own feel to it, and that's not a bad thing.
Hi, this is PRN's David Stein. Join me each week when I head but he's plugged into the sport unlike anyone you've ever met. That's
some damage. Ryan Blaney got a door ding on the side of his car, and Bubba Wallace and Ty Gibbs are going to have to come on. They did not
four tires and fuel, and of course, as I just mentioned, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. also taking tires. Brad Gilly.
Bumper is also hanging off. So they're going to go around with some tape, try to put that tape on there. They're doing some work.
Guess what, people? I'm serious. Listen to mine.
This season will be the most exciting one yet with the introduction of
Back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, working caution flag number.
Beginning to come to the front. He's got the edge now. He'll take the lead away.
Brian
and Larson is certainly one of those cars.
Trouble coming out of turn 4.
We love pizza. Find your next pizza at huntbrotherspizza.com or download Zane Smith is 13th, 14th. Justin Haley, Noah Gregson, 15th.
That incident, and we're getting set to go back to green flag racing here at
front. It's a couple of guys that know what they're doing. And it's Kyle Busch, a former
as the sun is setting on the back straight. Now they fan out too wide for the lead.
Kyle Busch.
back bumper with Chastain to the inside.
Kyle's choice to switch to the high line.
Bowman down at the bottom of the racetrack. Three wide behind him.
Top 5 car.
McDowell, and up high is Daniels.
Behind him as they go to turn number 1.
They are 2 and 3 wide all the way.
To the outside, you've got both Hendrick teammates. Working with Chase Elliott.
Logano to the inner side, a battle for 6.
Looking at Joey Logano, he
He's running 30th. Here's Kyle Busch leading the train again across the stretch.
a slight bobble to send them all sideways right now. Everybody
but Byron does not advance past Ross.
The middle, Logano to his inside. Gilliland to the outside. Gilliland.
Joey Logano and his teammate. There, Austin Cindric again.
Austin Cindric's to his inside. Up front, Kyle Busch still leading by Carly. Here as people trying to time their moves with
help now from Michael McDowell.
McDowell started on the pole and has come back.
To the outside, William Byron all 4.
Back behind them in rows.
To the finish, the sun's in the rise in the turn. Turn 2, Kyle Busch is the leader.
Pack of cars heading back to turn.
Got a little help from Austin Dillon. But that is definitely a car on the move if he
throws them off exiting turn 2.
William Byron has got the push. He's got the position.
.36 to go.
It is 2 wide for the top 7 or 8 rows, and sometimes
no change. Kyle Busch out front. Ross Chastain on the bottom. William
up. Kyle Busch still leading.
Ty Gibbs doing all he can.
Been able to hold off this pack as they cross the stripe again. Line up 2 by
road teammates, and Ty Gibbs up on the high side of the racetrack.
And Ty Gibbs is
spot, 3 wide in the middle with Gibbs up high. Alex Bowman down low, and Gibbs
wide, 3 wide, but Busch remains the leader.
2 weeks ago,
Gibbs to the top side. Just a battle anywhere you look in that top 50.
Up front, it's Kyle Busch. Half a car length lead.
We got a bunch of guys.
It's the back bumper of Ross Chastain. Chastain out of shape, but reels it back.
As is Ross Chastain right behind him with Alex Bowman.
And where you can do things like clean your gutters, pay tolls, and even get the its #1 rating based on 2022 boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Mom, me.
You're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription.
Front, then it's Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs, Ross Chastain, and Daniel Suarez.
A little bit different perspective because I grew up with Richard Petty while he was in 7, no matter how you win 7. Is amazing. I believe about Tiger Woods winning all these majors. We talk about Michael Jordan and
welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. The saving mode. He just radioed up to ask crew chief Randall Burnett, can we go now? His spotter, Derek Nealon, said, just don't.
And that's never won a race, Mark. He's leading here now with 23 to go, and we're talking about Ty Gibbs, and he is a playoff driver, so and sorry about that, Doug. Two of the combatants up front are also two of the three that fought back to the start-finish line here in February. Gibbs on the lead. The second row is going to be Kyle Busch and Daniel Suarez, and then Joey Logano and William Byron roll into one.
Laps to go here at Atlanta. Ty Gibbs.
To the youngster Ty Gibbs now.
Daniel Suarez to the outside there in that third spot. He's locked in a battle with William Byron. Then there's Joey Logano. Side by side is where they run now. Kyle Busch once again holding on into that.
House Jr., he's gone from 18th to 8th in the last 6 laps.
Unbelievable. He had a toe link damage on pit road. There's a big Kroger contingency next to me.
them as they work the high side of the racetrack. Off turn 3.
Stenhouse is being scored 8th at the moment.
Behind them, you find the guys that are racing it. Tyler Reddick is back there. Ryan Blaney, who led some of this race earlier today, he's in a battle with Alex. Less from these Penske cars. They know it's time to go. And
battle for 7th.
Can't push it too hard into turn 1, or they'll lose control and they back off just a bit. Stenhouse now 3 wide with Gilliland and Blaney up high, back in the top 10. Chastain and Elliott up high.
Go back for that 6th, 7th, and 8th spot. Ross Chastain working hard. Alex Bowman working the bottom of the racetrack. Chase Elliott
He goes now to the lead pack. Now drawing alongside the leader, Ty Gibbs, is Daniel Suarez. With 12 laps to go, nearly
is the one racing the number 22 for Joey Logano. He's got him right where he wants him right now, but can he stay up close
to the middle, pulled back down behind Ty Gibbs, trying to push him in line here as Daniel Suarez is even with Gibbs for the lead, and Ryan Blaney 3.
To a halt.
So that's our caution flag number 6 on the day. A little unorthodox in the way they were racing there. As Pat Patterson said, we
extend that streak to 20 years of winning a race, at least one in each season. All kinds of storylines up and down the racetrack. But Doug, one thing I keep going back to, Denny Hamlin had something, he heard the engine pop, when he had qualified yesterday. They couldn't diagnose a complete engine problem, so they changed the wires. I got a feeling Denny Hamlin just can't do anything because he doesn't have the engine to do it.
He's been back there battling with the likes of J.J. Yaley for most of this race. Let's get our Weather Guard top of the box report with Brad Gilley.
Chris Gale is the crew chief for Ty Gibbs, and you guys have a really strong race car, and you also have a lot of fuel in it. What is the plan for the rest of this one?
Stay up front, right? Run hard. We know those guys are close on fuel. You know, we knew they were saving fuel, and we knew when we didn't pit the last time that we were going to need to save more, get more fuel. They were going to be in the spot where they're counting on cautions to make it, so we were going to go hard, right? And that's what Ty was able to do, make it 3 wide, run hard. Those guys were saving fuel and get around all of them. So he's done a great job. We've had a fast car. We just need to keep it up front now. It's going to come down to typical kind of speedway racing, picking the right lane, blocking the runs, and yeah, don't have to worry about fuel. So kind of leave it all out there now.
You guys had to start from the back. What can you say about your driver?
Yeah, he's done a great job, right? Like, I think we've gone forward all day, right? So I think that's all you can ask. He's done a great job. We've gotten some stage points, albeit not as much as we wanted, but from starting from the back, we probably didn't think we'd get any, so we're in good shape.
All right, there's Chris Gale, the crew chief for Ty Gibbs.
All right, thanks a lot, Brad Gilly. That's our weather guard, top of the box. Race fans know that there's no letting up, even when you're leading the field, and the front runner in truck boxes knows this too. So when it comes to durability, security, and innovation, the folks at WeatherGuard aren't taking their foot off the gas anytime soon. Learn more at weatherguard.com. We're going to be in single digits of laps remaining when we turn them loose again here, Mark.
We are setting up for a whale of a finish here in the Quaker State 400. Ty Gibbs has done a great job all day long, Doug, and he certainly has showed his moxie late in this race with tires and fuel. Again, as his crew chief, Chris Gale, talked about, making it 3 wide and making his way up to the front. He's had races this year, Doug, where he nearly won his first victory, was second at Darlington, third at Phoenix, Coda, and Michigan. He's been knocking at the door. Maybe this is the day he kicks it in.
Let's go back down to Wendy Venturini.
Brad Keselowski will be the first car to take advantage of this late caution. It's going to be 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. Brad Gilly.
On my end, Josh Berry comes in. He's actually getting a 4-tire change as well. Rodney Childers will top him off with Sunoco race fuel. Brett McMillan.
All right, Randall LaJoy has come in. He's got 4 right side tires. Going to affect 4-tire change in Sunoco fuel. Also with Austin Dillon, he got right side tires.
All right, thanks a lot for those reports. We've only got 8 laps to go. It'll be 7 next time by. And NASCAR has 2 safety vehicles out on the front kink of the double dog leg here. Now they have finally retrieved the banner or the sign that came off, and they're going to have to haul that off the racetrack. I'm surprised that it's taken that long.
And also, Doug, I think they might have been taking another one off the wall that was a little bit loose, so that would not happen again here in the closing laps.
So we're going to have it probably 6 laps to go when they turn the field loose to get started. The wrecker pulls away, and it looks like those other safety vehicles will head back to the garage here. And you're right, Mark, they were tearing down another sign because I don't think they wanted that to be repeated either.
Man, what a crazy turn of events here late in the race, the Quaker State 400. We have seen a great race today. If you joined us, Ryan Blaney, the Stage 1 winner. Austin Cindric dominates Stage number 2. And here we are in single digits, maybe getting the final restart in the Quaker State 400, maybe not.
I think we've got time to take the folks through the field here with 7 laps to go when the pace car comes back. Daniel Suarez is the race leader. Ty Gibbs is second. Kyle Busch third. Joey Logano fourth. Ross Chastain fifth. Sixth to William Byron. Ryan Blaney is seventh. Eighth, Christopher Bell. Ninth, Tyler Reddick. And 10th belongs to Chase Elliott.
Bubba Wallace is in the 11th spot. 12th is Austin Cindric. Alex Bowman 13th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 14th. Then it's Michael McDowell 15th, 16th, Justin Haley, Daniel Hemrick 17th, 18th, Ryan Preece, Harrison Burton 19th, 20th, Carson Hocevar.
21st is going to be Cody Ware, Denny Hamlin 22nd. I think that's the best track position he's had all day long. Todd Gilliland 23rd, 24th is going to be Austin Dillon. Brad Keselowski, who just pitted and got tires, is 25th. Corey LaJoy 26th, Noah Gragson 27th, 28th to Josh Berry, Zane Smith 29th, J.J. Yaley 30th.
And then in 31st, B.J. McLeod, Eric Jones 32nd. Then in 33rd, the first car laps down, Shane Van Gisbergen, he's -3. John Hunter Nemechek -4 in 34th. Martin Truex Jr. -10 in 35th. Chris Buescher is out. He will finish today 36th. Kyle Larson crashed early, took Chase Briscoe with him. So Larson winds up 37th today and Briscoe 38th.
We've had 13 different leaders today, 22 lead changes, and just a half dozen cautions for 36 laps.
The lap leader, Austin Cindric, 92. Ty Gibbs, 36. Ryan Blaney, 33. Michael McDowell, 31. Kyle Busch, 24.
We'll see how all of this shakes out. Maybe the biggest thing that happened today was early on when we saw Kyle Larson crash. Right front tire went down. He was out. So, Mark, I hate to put it in this parlance, but he might have used up his mulligan for the playoffs, even though he had the most playoff points coming in.
He will get next to nothing for this race, Doug. He had 40 playoff points. He will use up just about all of that after this race today. By the way, since the beginning of the race, the driver who's up the most, Ty Gibbs. 32 spots. He's currently running in the second spot with a chance to win.
So we'll see how all of this shakes down now, as it looks like they will take the green flag with 5 laps remaining. So a potential 5-lap shootout. Of course, overtime also looms in this situation right now, and I would not be shocked if maybe that was multiple OTs when we get to it.
Again, yellows beget yellows at the end of these NASCAR races.
What did we see at Nashville? 5 overtimes? I think it was a NASCAR record.
Yes, it was. Are you thinking we're going to see another NASCAR?
I don't think we're going to have 5, but I would not be surprised. There wasn't a little bit of extra inning baseball.
You just got
today.
the evil eye from our director, Laura Beth.
All right, everybody is anticipating the finish of this one. Pat Patterson, it's been a heck of a race here so far. I don't know that I've ever seen this much 3 wide outside of Daytona, Talladega.
Man, it has been outstanding, and all these fans are on their feet. I mean, they are ready to see what's going to happen here. Like my Uncle Chick used to say, that's like pouring kerosene on a forest fire. Just what we're going to see in the next 5 laps. Everybody's on their feet and can't wait to see how this is going to turn out here at Atlanta. Here comes the pace car. Daniel Suarez is up there. Ty Gibbs is up there. Joey Logano ready to go. And Kyle Busch as we head to the Geico restart zone.
5 laps to go. Daniel Suarez, Ty Gibbs make up row 1. Green flag is in the air. Suarez gets a great jump. He will take the lead. Side by side in that second row is going to be Ty Gibbs and Joey Logano.
But now Kyle Busch gives Ty Gibbs a big push on the bottom line. Gibbs surging to the lead. Busch behind him, the veteran looking for his first win of the year. Gibbs looking for his first career win here as the laps wind down at A&S.
Ty Gibbs got a great start, but now he's going to get a great big challenge from Daniel Suarez. He drives the 99 down to the bottom of the racetrack. They're going to be side by side if they come off of 4. Kyle Busch is in the mix with them.
They rumble back to the start-finish line. Kyle Busch makes it 3 wide on the inside. There are just 4 laps to go on this race. Gibbs clings to the lead.
And the pictures of what we saw in February, they're 3 wide for second. Kyle Busch down low, Daniel Suarez middle, Joey Logano up high, and Ty Gibbs trying to drive away.
Logano's got the run on the outside of 3 wide. Kyle Busch on the bottom, Suarez in the middle. Logano to the outside now. He'll go to the top of the hill. Suarez thinks about 3 in the middle. He'll go to the middle. Here comes the 99 on the inside.
3 laps to go there, 3 wide for the lead. Ty Gibbs on the inside, Suarez in the middle, surging to the point right now. Joey Logano on the outside.
And Logano with help with Ryan Blaney, who almost won this thing back in February. They are 3 wide, 4 or 5 rows back. Daniel Suarez with a nose ahead.
Suarez got himself into the playoffs here, and maybe he can launch himself into the second round right now as he battles Logano. Logano to the outside. He's got the Ford high, wide, and handsome trying to hold on. There, door to door off of turn 4.
Suarez on the bottom. Now he makes contact with Logano's driver's door. 2 laps to go at Atlanta. Suarez trying to hold on.
And Suarez on the inside. Chastain giving a push. Brian Blaney pushing Joey Logano. It's Suarez and Logano 2 wide for the lead. Who's going to pull ahead? They are neck and neck in the backstretch.
Who can get to the white flag first might be the big question here. Logano.
Trouble in return 3. A car head on into the inside wall. It's an orange white machine. I believe it's Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
That is actually Noah Gregson. Noah Gregson, who has spun on the backstretch. Good call, Doug, as he gets his car now righted and gets it over onto the pit lane.
We're going to overtime at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. They crossed the stripe, and what would have been the white flag, we are now going to a green-white checkered flag finish.
Not surprising at all, but it was kind of surprising that the crash happened way behind the leaders here. Was no factor up there. Furious racing, and it's amazing, Mark. We could be setting up for another 3 wide finish, and I'm not trying to hype this, but we've seen it all day long. We could very easily replicate that kind of finish.
Doug, we saw a couple of times 4 wide, and we thought, no way that works, but somehow they did, and no telling. down there in mid-pack, somehow Noah Gregson, I think he made a little contact with Harrison Burton. Again, nobody's fault back there, just kind of jockeying around. I saw those two cars bobble a bit, and then Gregson comes spurting out of there and into the fence, and that is going to be yellow flag number 7, and we go to overtime. I just don't know how the fans could take this all right now.
It is riveting to watch them race here and how close they are and the runs that folks can get, and the fact that on this track you're seeing it 3 wide coming back to the start-finish line. It's absolutely amazing. And what is amazing for me, Mark, is that they can actually run laps like that, and it's not a crash every time around.
It just shows you how special these NASCAR Cup Series drivers are, because we have seen consistently 3 wide. We saw 4 wide, and somehow, and that's barely enough room to squeeze 4 cars inside this racetrack around the corners, and they were able to do it. And again, just amazing race drivers. It's why, Doug, I think this motorsports this version of motorsports is the best in the world. I think we have the best drivers, and man, you get on a racetrack like this, they really show you the skill level.
I love watching racing here. I like calling it because it's every lap there's the anticipation of something happening. Mark, I'm looking at the top 10 here. Ty Gibbs was the big loser there late in that run. He was leading. He kind of got shuffled out of line, and the next thing I know, he's out of the draft, and he dropped all the way back to 9th.
Kyle Busch also, Doug, the big loser. Kyle really gave Ty a big push going into turn number 1. He was able to kind of squirt out to the lead, but that cost Kyle his momentum. You know, when you hit somebody like that, you bounce back, they bounce forward, and that was a tough break for Kyle Busch.
Good to see that Noah Gregson is out of the car. He'll get the obligatory ride to the infield care center, but he looked to be okay when he popped out of that race car. When we go back to the first overtime of the day, it will be Joey Logano and Daniel Suarez, 3rd and 4th, Blaney and Chastain, then Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace, Ty Gibbs, and Kyle Busch making up the top 10.
Have we talked about Christopher Bell at all this afternoon?
Not much,
He has kept his nose clean. And you look at the points scored in the first 2 stages. He was not in the top 10 there, and yet here he is challenging up front for the lead and perhaps the win.
Only 3 non-playoff drivers in the top 10 right now. The lead one is Ross Chastain. He's been in the top 4 or 5 all day long. Hasn't led that many laps, but he has been in the mix. Bubba Wallace is being scored 7th now, and Kyle Busch is 10th. So 3 of the top 10 drivers, non-playoff drivers. The key thing there is if one of those drivers can win, then that denies a playoff driver a chance to lock themselves automatically into round 2 in the round of 12.
And that just makes things a little more interesting heading for Watkins Glen and the cutoff race at Bristol.
And we look forward to that. Motor Racing Network will have all the coverage from the Watkins Glen Speedway. Always an entertaining race there. And then the PRN crew will head up to Thunder Valley Bristol Motor Speedway for the Bass Pro Shops night race there at BMS. And that's always a lot of fun as NASCAR continuing their cleanup here. Hopefully they can get things straightened up and we can get back to racing here pretty quick. Don't need the lights yet. We got another hour or so before we'd have to turn them on.
And Doug, though, certainly there are a number of teams, you got to believe, hope we get this thing restarted quickly. There are some a little bit iffy on fuel. We've had a lot of yellow flags here in the 3rd and final stage after many of them made their final pit stop, so that has helped. But at some point, you know, you're going to be good to the last drop at some point. So we'll have to see how that turns out and what some of these teams are thinking.
All right, let's go over to Doug Turnbull.
Speaking of that fuel saving that Mark Garrow was just talking about, as the leaders came by, it's hard to tell from up here, but it sounded like Joey Logano was cutting that engine off and turning it back on just in case there are multiple overtimes. I guess we're already close to being in the second one right here, so Joey Logano's been doing that. His last win was in that 5 overtime finish at Nashville where he got an ungodly amount of fuel out of that number 22 car, and his last win before that was right here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
That's the smart play, and I just feel like it. We mentioned this earlier, that fuel mileage in the fuel game has become so important this year. It's not really fuel mileage races as it is saving fuel to get that last pit stop so you pick up spots on pit road. It took a little while for me to figure out exactly how that was playing out, Mark, but that's become the new Bible of stock car racing is we've got to save fuel so we don't have to spend as much time on pit road.
And, Doug, this is a track position game, right? I mean, it is so hard. These teams are so equal. It's so hard to pass. You have to try to use everything in the toolbox to get it done. And fuel mileage, as you've talked about, is one of the big things that they've been harping on this season.
And it's so much easier to make up time on pit road than it is out on the racetrack. You know, 2 seconds on pit road can be 10 spots. How many laps does that take you to make up 10 spots when you come out onto the racetrack? You may never get there. So we're going to at least go to one overtime. We're forecasting 266 laps. The race was scheduled for 260. And it looks like the track is just about clear. It looks like they're going to give the signal for one to go this time, and then they'll turn them loose when we come back. Let's go back down to Brad Gilley.
Well, Doug, they're coming to the choose right now. Chase Elliott is sitting back there in that fifth spot. They're trying to decide where they want to restart. He was told by Alan Gustafson, I don't think this race is going to be won on the bottom unless someone on the top runs out of fuel. Chase Elliott going to the top behind Suarez and Chastain.
So it is Logano inside row 1, Suarez to his outside. Blaney, Chastain, row number 2, inside row 3, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott outside. Then it is Bowman in row 4 to the inside of Bubba Wallace.
Looking back in the back of the pack here, Brad Keselowski will restart 25th, Denny Hamlin 22nd. Why is that important? Because those are playoff drivers. Martin Truex Jr., disastrous day. He's minus 10 laps. Looks like he's probably going to finish 35th in today's race. So a couple of playoff players, 3 to be exact, horrible days. Briscoe will finish last, Kyle Larson next to last, and Martin Truex Jr. is going to be back in 35th at the end of the day. So their playoff hopes take a big hit right off the button.
Boy, no telling how this is going to look when we shake things out after the Quaker State 400. Lights are off the pace car. They're in front of Pat Patterson.
Yeah, watching them slowly get into turn number 3 here. Daniel Suarez, that Quaker State car, sponsor of the race today. He's on the outside of that front row. Joey Logano's right there behind them. Ryan Blaney and Ross Chastain. Chris Bell is up there. Chase Elliott as well. And we get ready for that the Chevrolet pace car to come up here and make a left-hand turn. All the fans are on their feet. Why not? It is the playoffs, and it's overtime. Here we go.
So it's a green, white, checkered flag finish. Here we are as they go into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. Logano, Suarez, 2 by 2. They head to turn number 1, door to door.
And Logano restarted on the bottom line. Big push from his teammate Blaney. Then it's Chevrolets of Suarez and Chastain up top. No one pulling away from each other. They're glued to each other down the back straightaway here, second to last time.
Side by side. 2 rows deep into turn 3. Logano on the bottom of the racetrack. Suarez on the outside. Everybody pushing as hard as they can. Chastain's car drifts up the racetrack. Here they come back to get the white flag.
Daniel Suarez on the outside of Joey Logano, but doesn't have a companion with him. It's Logano and Blaney trying to break away now.
Big push from Ryan Blaney. He pushes Joey Logano into turn number 1, but has nowhere to go to get around him because Suarez is to Blaney's outside. Logano by himself out front for the final time.
Can anybody challenge the 22? Joey Logano into turn 3. Ross Chastain goes up, almost hits the wall. Here comes Logano off turn number 4.
Daniel Suarez trying to fight back on the outside as Bubba Wallace smashes the wall. Here is Logano now across the stripe. He will win the Quaker State 400. He has locked himself into round 2 of the Cup Series playoff as 5, 6, now 7 cars are spun and crashed here along the front straightaway.
Bubba Wallace is in this one. Harrison Burton was in the middle of this one. A ton of cars got turned back here on the backstretch mark, and unfortunately for them, a couple of them playoff cars that got knocked out.
Harrison Burton took a big hit there. He was a playoff car, and Cody Ware also was involved in that. Bubba Wallace heavily damaged on his 23 machine, but Joey Logano and Blaney were able to break away on their own. And Mark, the big thing that happened there, Ross Chastain lost contact with Daniel Suarez coming out of turn 4, and once that happened, you knew Suarez was done.
And the fact that Ryan Blaney took the nose of his car, put it on the back bumper of Joey Logano, and slingshotted him up to the front, in front of Suarez as they took the white flag. And Team Penske teamed up to get Joey Logano